sure. All right, so I know we're live on Twitch.
Yeah, on Twitch.
And I'm waiting for it to come through on YouTube.
You've been simulcasting lately, Jay.
Yes, I have. And it has been very beneficial. I'll explain that later because I think we're live.
All right.
Yeah, we are.
All right, you're live on Twitch. I see
it. Yeah, okay. So can everybody hear me? Can everybody hear us? Cool, bet. All right, everybody. Hello. Welcome to the first rendition of the Beyond Legend podcast. I know this is a surprise. It's also a surprise to Brago Murphy, so this is hilarious. This is a surprise for everybody. I can explain it later, but I don't really think there's any point because you guys should know. I'll explain it later. This is basically just going to be my version of being able to talk about whatever I want. I'm going to go beyond all kinds of other topics. So should be a blast, should be a really good time, and I'm very excited about it. But the real meal of the day is that this is the first time we're having the Rat Queen herself and low-key the Rat Admiral here on the same stream. So I've been wanting to have these two on one stream because I just know for some reason it's gonna be funny and it's gonna be hilarious. We're gonna talk about whatever. So first of all, for some reason, I just got a feeling in my spirit. You know, my spirit's like, yo, you gotta do something about this. You gotta bring them together. I was like, I bet I'm gonna bring them together. So here we are. Murphy, what's up? How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Doing fantastic. It's a great day. It's a great day to be alive. And Braco, what's up, man?
I'm doing good, brother. How are you?
Just living the dream. Just living my life, enjoying everything. Yeah, man, just living the dream.
You love to see it, man. I'm just excited to go beyond legend.
Yeah, we're going beyond. We're going beyond, above and beyond. So obviously the first thing we should start off with is obviously the One Piece fan letter. Both of us have seen it. That's a good way to break the ice. Yeah, either one of you guys want to start. I'll share my thoughts last. So what did you guys think of the episode?
Go ahead, Braco.
Yeah, Murphy can start. You want me to go?
Yeah, go.
Okay.
All right, I'll go. Shit. No. I thought it was fantastic, man. I think it amplified how I feel about One Piece. It definitely makes Kobe's decision in Marineford. It hits a little bit differently now because it's like, this is what he was really fighting for. These are the people that he saw that were dying. And like One Piece, it advertises and, the main characters, the big wigs, those are the people that we see. But when they give us this perspective from like the little guy, like the oar's leg falling on somebody, it's just like, you don't think about that, right? When Doflamingo's cutting off somebody's leg, you're like, okay, like it's landing on somebody else, bro. And there's people trapped, people dying. We talk about Whitebeard and like Whitebeard using all his different attacks. Imagine how many people actually died. And it showed like blood. Like a lot of blood. It was like, yo, this is crazy. So fan letter, I was so moved. And I legit would like a fan letter from different perspectives for like every arc. Like that would be insane.
Yeah, I agree.
Episode for every arc.
That would be crazy. Like even at Impel Down, like some maybe perspective from like people that were impacted by the prisoners that got away, right?
Yeah.
Something like that would be crazy. I mean, Sabaody, the initial one. I just think just how they captured it was, I didn't know I needed it until I saw it, but this was amazing, bro. Amazing.
Yeah, I love that. I love that idea of doing one from the outside for every single arc. I really, really loved our unnamed protagonist in fan letter. I loved how she was trying to personify Nami and getting to go around the town and see, we see the newspaper, but we got to see them in manga form and how people were, creating their own fan canon and having their own power scaling in a bar and even seeing our characters interact with them without the side characters understanding that you're meeting a straw hat. It felt like I'm one of the fans, like they're picking up the manga and reading Frankie and closing it, or cheering on Brooke, and they have their little plushies, and I'm like, that's me. I'm in the crowd too. I'm one of them.
Yeah, I think it made me feel like this is how I would be if I was in the One Piece world as a fan.
Yep.
Like, and imagine talking about Zoro, and Zoro's like right behind you, and you don't even know about it. So it was just like, man, That's
Sanji's
fantastic.
like, what about me? Gas me a little bit.
Yeah, Sanji, the Sanji slander was heavy.
Yeah,
Like,
that was
bro,
crazy.
In my
Hey,
video,
catch a
because
break.
I didn't edit my video for it, and like the editor decided to cut out the Sanji slander, and like a bunch of comments like, "No, where's the Sanji slander? Why?" I'm like, bro,
I didn't do that.
I didn't do that. But like, why are you guys focusing on Sanji like that? Like, what's up with that? But you know, we know how it is with Sanji. He's gonna get slandered regardless.
You know what's funny? When that moment came up, the first thing I thought of was like, oh, this brag was Discord. I was like, that's your Discord right there. I yelled at it in my reaction.
Wait,
I said, oh, it's
the specifically?
yes, because you understand, it's like, they said, what about Blackleg? And that silence when they hit and they talk about swordsman, and they started laughing. I said, oh, that's the BDA Discord. That's exactly what they do in his Discord. I'm telling Murphy, I don't know if you've ever been, don't go in there. Don't go to his Discord. It's a lawless country. It is Meteor City.
There are safe channels to traverse.
That's not a good way to defend yourself.
Nah, bro.
There's safe channels to traverse, but just you can't go everywhere, okay?
Don't go into
Oh,
VC.
no.
Just don't go into VC. That's Meteor City right there. That is a lawless country. That is it. It's the Great Terminal. Yeah, just passionate.
They're just passionate. That's what I'm saying. They're passionate.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. They said Brago's VC is worse than Wano. That's crazy. All right. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Sanji apologist, what do you have to say?
I mean, listen. I liked it because Zoro got his, so Sanji had to get his, and I think that's just fair. I found it funny. I just found it really funny because Sanji set himself up. They talk about swordsman. Why you insert yourself in the conversation?
Yeah,
don't insert yourself or you're gonna get cooked. That's just the law. That's the law of agenda. That's how it works. So like, I think for me, I reiterate everything that you guys said. I think my favorite part was the moment with the Marine and his brother. I think the realism of not like, he said, I don't like my brother. I don't like my brother. And as siblings, you live with these people your whole life, so you just get used to them. So sometimes you can forget to appreciate that they're your brother. And I think at that moment, when his brother was calling in his name and he's trying to run away, and then you realize his brother said run away, he's thinking about the safety of his brother, and he said, no, that's my brother. I can't do that. I can't do that. And he turned around
I don't
and
like
just...
my brother, but I love my brother.
Exactly.
You know?
And that's what that moment was.
Have siblings, you know? So it's just like, there's some siblings that I don't like them sometimes. It can be annoying, that things about them I don't like, but I love them. I don't want them to die, you know? So that was cool, especially with like Luffy being the one, Luffy and Ace's relationship kind of impacting him. I thought that was, you know, that hit home for sure, because that's one of the reasons why I like Ace so much, because I'm a big brother. So it's just, you know, what Ace is willing to do. It's just like kind of combining that, using Ace and Luffy and having that as the motivation, bro. Like, I was like, oh, man, this is so good. This is so good, bro.
So good.
Yeah, they were both willing to die for the other. The one saying run and then the one running back to the other. It was really cool to see him kind of get a flash of Luffy and be like, all right, I want my life to mean something like his does.
And hearing Luffy scream too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That was heavy. That was heavy.
It was great.
I think the scaling, I think one of the things I told myself is I don't think I could ever call these guys fodder ever again. Like, that's what shook me, is like calling them fodder is so disrespectful now after seeing what it's like to see like Kuma's pacifista laser beams flying everywhere, and we look at that like, oh, it's just Mickey Mouse laser beams, that's not gonna do nothing. These guys are literally in danger from minute one to the end. Like their life is in danger, bro. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw the perspective, bro.
I've been talking to people about this all the time when it's like comes, because you know when Yonko and the Admiral, it gets toxic, right?
Right.
People hold Admirals to the same standard they hold Yonko. I'm just like, they can't operate that way, because somebody was getting hurt from Kizaru just traveling, right? Just traveling. And then when Kizaru pulls up to Sabaody the first time on the cannon and he shoots and he like destroys a mangrove, they're like, yo, you can't do that. And then it was like, oh, bring in Silver Israeli. And it's like, it's not that simple. It's like, you got to understand, like, there's so many people here. Like, the Admirals can't just go crazy without worrying about the people. So it's just like, this is giving a perspective as to why the Marines, like, forget the Admirals, the Marines have to kind of operate differently, where yes, the pirates, they got a leg up because they don't care. right? They can just go crazy, and the collateral, the Marines have to worry about it. So I hope like that gives people more perspective on like how the world works, just because this is it. This is the Marines. This is how they have to operate.
Yeah. Sometimes they just have to fanboy over Chopper for a few minutes, and they can't really get their job done.
I mean, I know why you're doing that. I know what she's doing. Don't let her do this. I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing, and you're not gonna get away with it. Because I know how this. Yeah, listen. I know how this chat works. And she's just look, JD advertised. We've already started. So like, I'm gonna address this now for all of you guys that are saying I look like the benevolent king. He was real cold, but I ain't no Chopper stan, and the way he was gushing over Chopper, it made me sick. I just couldn't take it. And
yet, you specifically directed your artist, hey, make me look like him.
I didn't say to do that. I definitely didn't say to do that. That's not true.
Which is crazy.
You're like, I'm a hidden Chopper fan. You know that I have my little plushies in the closet.
Nah, bro.
Yeah, Jay, it's time to come out. Let us know.
Nah.
You see the theory about it though? About Chopper? They're saying that he's the reason why Chopper's bounty is so low, because he downplays him as a pet. Specifically that.
He's trying to protect him.
He's the one that's doing it? Ah, surely
he's
not,
the one
dog.
That's doing it.
Surely not, dog. Oh my God. Nah. That's hideous.
It was great though to see the soldiers or the Marines fanboying over him outside the office, and then he's fanboying over Chopper, and it's like everybody just has somebody that they're like, oh, admiring.
I mean, and it's real though. Like, these people are like, they're superstars, bro.
Yeah.
Like, they're superstars. Like, I think the one that like was crazy was when they went and Rayleigh was just standing there, and it's like, okay, Mayo Rayleigh's right there. I'm gonna just go around. You know?
Yeah, I'm just gonna slide over here, cause like,
which is like, I get it, man. That's Rayleigh right there. I get it, bro.
Yeah.
Did everyone have a fan? No. So Robin, Usopp and Usopp are the only people that didn't really have fans, from what I've seen.
Usopp, because I didn't get it at first, and somebody was like, well, because when Usopp was talking, I was like, yo, that's Usopp, but he was still Sogeking at the time for the bounty. So it's like, he didn't recognize him.
That's true. He wasn't God Usopp yet.
Sanji.
Okay.
Sanji still had like the cartoon.
Yeah.
So they didn't recognize
and they didn't mention
himself.
Sanji. You're right. They did not mention Sanji either. They mentioned Frankie. They did mention Frankie. So Frankie was definitely
Frankie. Yeah. We talk about
someone was looking at
the picture
newspaper. Yeah. So they had Frankie there.
Well, that girl who was in charge of the shop, was she was all about Frankie, wasn't she?
She was all about
Brooke. It was Brooke. Yeah. You're right.
But there was like the Frankie section in the magazine though. Where it's like they got that picture. They got that.
Yeah. Which even Robin dissed. Even Robin, like when that girl closed it, she's like, who cares? And Robin's like,
cares?
Unreal. And
yeah, like, oh my God, unreal. Yeah.
It was so rude.
I think that was crazy.
What's crazy is it made me, it's like we get so caught up in the power scaling debates that we forget that all of these guys are freaks of nature. Like in Marineford, the way Crocodile put up the Mihawk, a lot of people are like, there's no way Crocodile's fighting Mihawk. But when you saw that, you're looking at like, oh, these are two heavy hitters clashing. Like it's about to be,
between the two of them, just trying to get out of the way.
You're just like, hold on, you got to stay away from those two. Like it's a different ball game.
Bro, you really don't think about just how, like you said, freaks of nature these people are. Considering just like, bro, you have Crocodile and Mihawk. And you have these two heavyweights about to clash, and you can't do anything about it.
Nothing.
You literally can't do anything about it, bro. Like, bro, that.
You say Chun Buggy though.
Say Buggy?
Yes. Like he should have been broadcast in the background, doing some nonsense.
I wouldn't mind some Buggy love.
Yeah. I was kind of happy with it, for real. Like, this just goes to show. It's like, yo,
keep him out of there.
That. He's just not like that. That's all it meant. You know who they showed? They showed Vista. They had no reason to show Vista. They had no reason.
Well, Mihawk was getting gas, so like.
Oh, you gotta understand though. They had no reason to show Vista, but they put him in there for a reason, because he's like that. And that's why I keep people thought I was joking when I said, you sleep on Vista, bro. It's the only one Mihawk said, you know what? We can run it another time. We thought it was a gimmick. It's not. He's just like that.
Where is he?
Yeah, he out here. He roaming. Where's Mihawk? He roaming.
Vista?
Vista roaming around, bro. He's looking for a strong swordsman to fight. I wouldn't be surprised if he's in Wano.
Oh,
We'll
still? Now?
Yeah, Vista probably pulled up the Wano.
Oh, after Kaido left, he pulled up?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, he pulled up. Yeah. I'd be surprised. That's my 10
I don't hate Vista. Like, Vista's cool, but it's just like, where are you, bro? Like, you got to show yourself at this point.
He's coming back to the story, bro. I know it.
I don't know.
Be the last chapter, and Jay's gonna.
I'm like, what is it? What does Oda do with them? Like, if you're not gonna have Vista show up in Wano with everything against Kaido, what do you do with Vista? Like, at this point, I don't know.
He's still relevant, bro. I'm telling you. Yo, what if Vista's the one to save Weevil, bro? What if he's the one?
Saved Weevil from what? From Green Bull?
Yeah, from Green Bull, bro. What? I don't understand.
You gotta understand, Braga.
Why
You gotta understand. Hawkeye was like, I don't know. Mihawk was like, I'm not so sure about this.
That's what I'm saying.
Green Bull probably took one look at him and was like, oh no.
Yeah, it's Flower Sword. It's flower. I don't want that Rose Rondo. I don't want it.
I think that says more about Mihawk for him to listen, man. I try not to use that in Marineford as much when we talk about this stuff because this is like, it doesn't make sense considering who Mihawk is. But you know, that says more about Mihawk than Vista. But the Rose Rondo, Mihawk did seem like it was to give him some trouble. So, you know.
It caught him some guard. The Rose Rondo different, dog. That's all I'm saying. And he said that was his first flower that bloomed, which means he's got other blooms. So my thing is like, you give him 2 years, he probably got like 6, 7 blooms. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yo, if this Vista like gas is crazy right now. This is crazy right now.
Yo, it's the truth.
Wait, Jay, do you like Mihawk? I don't remember.
Not because he has plans.
I don't. You know, Mihawk, I just think he's a fraud. That's it. I just don't think.
Okay, so you don't like Mihawk. Got it.
Think about it though. But think about it. Murphy, back me up, right? So think about it. What swordsman has he actually fought outside of a pre-Arlong Park Zoro? Which one?
I mean,
Mista? This is not my fight.
Yeah, but I'm saying back me up. I'm saying back me up. Yeah, other than Vista, he ain't beat him.
He got the title though.
The title for what? Bobbin the Fixer. He had a title, but what did Bobbin fix? What did Bobbin fix?
Bobbin?
Yeah, did he fix anything?
Yeah, he went and got the food for Big Mom from that island, right? He did that. Remember we saw him?
Yeah, but that's not fixing. That's not fixing. That's just retrieving. It's not bobbing the retriever.
He fixed the meal, bro. Like he had to go get the ingredients.
It was Streusen that fixed the meal.
Nah, bro, Bobbin was helping out, bro. You're not going to slander Bobbin.
Yeah, like, I ain't slander. I'm just saying he ain't fixed
I don't know if Murphy
nothing.
know about this, but I'm low-key a Bobbin stan, and I feel like he was done dirty in Whole Cake Island. Considering that Bobbin was the only one that Gotti, Capone, and who was the other one? Vito? They all went to hunt down Bobbin, and they took him out. He was the only one in Whole Cake Island. He was a problem, and he doesn't get enough credit. Shout out to Bobbin. Rest in peace.
He was a problem. Murphy, do you remember Bobbin? I know she didn't remember Bobbin. You don't remember Bobbin?
Y'all are just saying stuff at this point. You're making stuff up.
Bobbin, Bobbin is one of the only people to die in Whole Cake Island, bro.
Murphy, look up Bob. So, bro, you don't know this. Murphy has one of the worst memories in the community I've ever seen. Like, it's actually crazy. For someone who reviews One Piece,
she don't remember Bobbin?
She didn't even remember Aokiji's name when we were talking about it. We got a short about it too.
Iceman.
Yeah, Iceman.
That's Bobbin.
This is your man. This is who you're taking up for.
Hey, he was cold. Don't mind how he look. He look a little funny. He look a little crazy, but that's my guy. You know what I'm saying? That's my guy. It's all good. Yeah. You got to see him. He look better in person. You look better in person.
He's killing Bobbin. That's who we're fighting for today.
Yo, that's crazy. Nah, that's crazy. That's your man's. The chat
that's a bad picture. That's a bad picture. It's not
That's a bad picture. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm scrolling and I'm finding nothing good.
Hey, that's agenda. They didn't take his good side, Murphy. That's all it is.
Oh my God. Why does this sound like a situation? Why does it sound like a situation like you got someone for my boy? And Murphy's like, huh?
That's just a bad picture. He looked better than
It's
that
a
in
bad
person.
picture. He
gotta
looked
meet him.
better in person. Yeah, you just gotta meet him. He's a good dude.
That's
You get
all.
friends
That's
with
all it
him,
is.
You're like, I see him in person. He's fine.
Yeah, nah, that's insane.
Oh
Whew.
my god,
Yeah.
bro.
So that's anything else about the I think, how did you like the ending? I wanted her to meet Nami, but at the same time I just knew it wasn't gonna
She
happen.
can't.
Yeah,
can't.
I agree. She can't.
Yeah, she can't. It's one, she meets her and the Marines see her meet her, it's like it might mean more problems for her. She might be
Yeah.
viewed as an accomplice, you know, things like that. That's why how it ended was perfect. Where like she like technically I didn't do anything wrong. I just got my letter back and ripped my letter up.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
but
clean.
also it's she kind of remains, and I think it adds more to us because we're kind of like her where we see
Yes.
them and we're just so close, but we never really meet them necessarily. And we just remain super fans, you know, but we understand the
Exactly.
impact that they have on our lives. So it's just, I absolutely love the ending, even though I agree with y'all. I really, really wanted her to meet them or meet Nami, you know what I'm saying? Because we know how Nami feels about kids, you know, and little girls. And so it's just like, man, you would love Nami. Nami would love you. But, you know, she already knows all that. She sees from afar. So
Yeah.
I did love the ending.
It's like never meeting your hero, you know, like
Mhm.
who actually meets their hero? And then,
It's
but
true.
if you don't, then there's still just that kind of idealized version in your mind, and it never
Mhm.
actually touches ground. And you and I are never going to meet them, and we are inserts into this.
Yeah.
So I agree. I agree. She couldn't have met her.
That's a good point.
That
I
was
guess
so
I never
good.
thought about that.
That was an amazing shot too at the end, where like the Straw Hats just flying through the air, and Nami she's celebrating, and Luffy's there, and
Yeah,
it's like
just so happy.
God. And so that vision in her mind, she's never gonna forget that,
Yeah.
like ever. That's always
It
gonna
is-
be how she views Nami.
It's just so cool to see the Straw Hats from someone else's perspective and see them like. See, it's like you're looking at them like they're celebrities, like you mentioned, Braga. It's like
They're
these guys are
superheroes.
they're literally superheroes. So it's like I'm seeing Zoro. I'm like, oh my god, it's Zoro. He's there, and I'm just like, wait, I've been watching One Piece for 20 years.
That's
You know
what I'm
I mean? Oh my
saying.
god, it's Zoro. Like, what's
It
wrong
got
with
me
me?
so
Why am I
hyped when I
crashing out?
was like, yo, that's Zoro.
Yeah,
We were
that's
part of
crazy.
the town. We were fangirling, fanboying along with everybody else.
I saw it, bro. Like I was seeing Crocodile, but I'm like, yo, look at my man Croc moving. Hold on, it's Croc, yo.
That's
Yeah,
why I needed to see
Perspective, bro.
Buggy.
Yeah, perspective.
I mean, I would have liked for them to show
I mean,
category.
Buggy cool.
Or Dofi. Some more Dofi.
Dofi
That'd
would have
been
been
good.
good.
That
We saw
would've been
Dofi would be
Moria.
crazy.
No,
But-
we saw Dofi and Moria, didn't we?
Did we see Dofi?
I didn't see
I feel
Duffy.
like we saw a little bit of Dofi, but I know we saw a
We
lot
saw
of Moria, but I swore we saw
I
Dofi.
feel like we saw a glance, but remember, like, we saw the leg, right? So maybe even showing Dofi cutting the leg. But I think
Yeah. That
what
would've been
in
killer.
this fan letter, seeing Doflamingo or the perspective of somebody seeing Doflamingo is going to feel completely different
Yes,
because
I agree.
he's a menace, you know. So it's just not going to be as pleasant as seeing like a Usopp or a Nami. So
But we
I would
saw
like to see that.
Crocodile
Ooh, crocodile.
like charging at
Yeah.
Mihawk.
Yeah, that
And we were
was
in
crazy.
between them as
In
they're
between
charging
it.
each other.
And then
It's
they
not
made
we-
him like look so much larger than everybody
It was
else.
so
Yes.
crazy.
He's gigantic. I was like, bro.
Having those two come at each other from that perspective was so much more fear-inducing than watching it from the perspective that we saw originally.
You know what I think it is? I think in this fan letter, we were comparing Mihawk and Crocodile to the regular citizens, as opposed to like when we normally watch Marineford, we're kind of comparing everybody to like Whitebeard and like
Yes.
those, like that monster. So like it felt completely different. Like, yo, these
That's
guys,
such a
you
good
guys
point.
have no chance against like
And
these monsters.
Yes.
Like, I don't know.
it's funny how it shifts the scale.
It did. Like, I'm not too mad at people saying like I should probably leave. This isn't my fight.
Yes. So
Yeah.
the question I wanted to ask is, how do you guys feel about Akainu now after seeing the perspective of the Marines, of the smaller soldier Marines? He's kind of scummy. He's kind of scummy, bro. I'm not gonna lie. He's kind of scummy.
Was he not before this?
He was, but it makes it worse. I feel like this whole
hates
episode
Ace
makes him
confirmed.
worse.
That's a tough question.
How can you follow somebody like that?
I would say I feel worse about what Akainu did because it was just like these people are terrified. And to be honest, these people were not going to influence the outcome of the war. Mm-hmm. Like all these all these different regular Marines that's running around, they were not going to influence.
He still called them fodder.
The F word. He said the F word chat. With the hard ER, he said it. How good is it? Oh my God.
He was like, he literally just said they're still fodder.
Fodder. It's like, oh, disgust.
Hey, I brought it back. I brought it back. I brought it back. I brought it back.
FLM in the chat, yo. Fodder lives matter, yo, please.
Hey, wait. I don't want to call them fodder, but let's be for real.
But you did.
That's what they are, all right? That's what they are.
Oh my God. Yo, Brago's a bigot. Yeah, bigot DH. Listen, we got it, bro.
Listen, my heart, I feel for them. Yeah. But it's kind of like.
But they're fodder.
They're fodder. Listen, okay. I'll say. I feel like with Akainu, what he did, killing the 2 fodder that were trying to run away.
He's still
bro. I'm conflicted. I'm gonna say that I'm conflicted. I'm at least conflicted now.
Such a softball though. He's like, how do you feel about Akainu now? And you're like, well, the fodder.
Yeah, this is sick.
You could have just said I felt bad for them.
Because yes, Akainu, what he was doing on its surface, very scummy. Very scummy. But let's go beyond, right? Let's go beyond the legend real quick.
There's no way he did that, yo. I'm tired. Let's go beyond.
If they leave, if you're running away from this, if you leave, now you about to be wanted, right? Because you're deserting the battlefield, right? And Akainu, what he was doing them a favor. He's like, okay, at this point, if you want to leave the battlefield, you're going to be a criminal regardless. At least get some insurance money for your family. And so it was just like, it is what it is. You died on the battlefield. And so he was doing them a favor. Now, it's still scummy, but you got to see the bright side. At least see the silver lining. Am I right? Y'all agree with me?
You work in PR. That was crazy. That was crazy.
You see the vision though, right?
You just painted a picture of him looking out on this battlefield and saying, I'll be merciful on these men down here that are gonna die regardless. I'll get them their insurance.
I'm saying, like, this is best case scenario for you. Like, I don't think I could do it. You sound like a villain.
You sound like a villain. You're like, this is the best case scenario. I'm killing you as a favor. I'm giving you a gift right now.
Oh my God, bro.
I mean, sometimes it just is what it is, right, chat?
Oh my God. Yo, there's actual tears in my eyes.
I'm just documenting what happened, bro. I'm not saying I agree with it or disagree with it.
Sure you're not. Sure you're not. I'm sitting on the fence. I'm just saying he did nothing wrong. I'm sitting on the fence, though.
Yeah.
Oh my God, bro.
It's tough. It's just a tough situation.
It's a tough situation.
It's a tough one.
It's real tough. That's it.
I feel for them. I feel for them. I do.
Oh my God, yo.
Sure.
I guarantee right now, though, their families are better off. Better off.
Did they get a pension? Did they have life insurance?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
They died in action.
So you've seen it. Sorry. So you've seen the law.
They got killed in action.
With all the heavenly tribute, you really think they got enough money to be paying for the families?
Maybe not enough.
Maybe not enough. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
But they at least got compensated, and their family didn't get disgraced. You know.
Yeah, I'm sure the families feel that way. That's a really good
point.
Oh
my God, brother. Yeah, they said you the true grandson of Saturn. I see it.
Go ahead. Spin Doflamingo now. You've got a gift.
Oh, Dofi?
Oh, look at him. He's excited.
Well, okay. People like to paint Dofi as this, like...
Yay!
This evil person.
Yay.
But hear me out.
I'm listening.
Doflamingo is a victim.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Y'all got to mute.
Mhm.
First off, Dofi was raised in Mary Joa, right? They spoiled him. They gave him anything he wanted, and he became this spoiled, pompous brat. And then his dad had the bright idea to bring him down to regular people. And you know the crazy part about it that people don't talk about?
The villain, really.
His dad was going around the village telling people what he was and who he was. Are you an idiot?
Yes, he was quite stupid. That is true.
Bro, that is crazy to me. They hate you. Oh, I was just up in Mary Joa, but I chose to come down here with you poor people, you fodder. That's what he called them, actually. He called them fodder.
Word F and everything.
Bro, and then Doflamingo, he was crucified. He lost an eye. I know people talk about Corazon, but Corazon didn't lose an eye. He didn't lose an eye. Dofi lost the eye.
They both had it hard. Yep.
Dofi lost the eye, and then after that, he was groomed by Trebo. And then
I will not deny that he had a bad life. I have not yet heard the justification for his actions.
What? Wait, what did he do wrong?
Oh,
he took back the country that was for him. That was for the Don Quixotes.
I don't know. There was a lot of murder that happened in the process. There's certainly a, at best, gray area with Violet going on.
Oh, Violet.
I was about to say, sir.
I can't touch that. I can't. touch that.
Yeah. You can't. No, you can't. I knew it. I was like, hold on, player. Hold on, yo.
All I would say about Violet is we don't know the extent of their relationship.
Yo.
That's all I'll say.
Yo.
That's all I'll say.
Oh my
There's
God.
nothing else I can say about that.
All right, we about to go beyond the jail cell if we keep going. So we gotta.
I don't know the extent of their relationship. Oda framed it and painted it in a certain way, but she was riding for Dofi early in Dressrosa.
I will say, allow me to defend his father real quick.
Go ahead.
Okay. All right.
I'm fascinated. I want to hear this. Defend homing. I want to see this.
Man was a fool. However, he too was raised in Mary Joa, was he not?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he too was probably quite oblivious to the sufferings of the common man. So when he chose to become a common man and wanted to say, I've become like you, I've realized the folly of my ways, and now I'm starting anew, he probably thought that they were going to relate to him and not realize how badly they would hate him for the life that he lived before. So man was dumb, but I think that he thought they would accept him.
Okay, I agree with that. But how I look at homing and even Mostgard, those are the exceptions, right?
Yes.
From being raised the way Mostgard, homing, even Corazon. And I think Corazon is kind of almost scared straight because of how Dofi was. So he's like, I don't want to be that. So I'm going to go completely the opposite way. So like for homing, Mostgard, even Corazon, being raised in that environment and being the way that they are, those are the people that are the exceptions, because most people in that environment, they turn out to be like Dofi or even Garling. They are just treacherous. So like,
if you've been raised to believe that you deserve the world, you're going to act like it. That's going to be what you believe.
Dofi was raised that way. Then you took it from him, and then you denied it when he tried to go back. So now it's just like, it is what it is.
But at least Homing was trying to do what was right. He realized that the way he was raised was wrong, and he made an attempt. He failed, and it put Dofi in a terrible position, but he at least made an effort.
Yeah, and Dofi made an effort too.
I have to read this.
Make things right.
I have to read this super chat because it's got 25 likes. Red House, not Roadhouse, said Brago been to a Dofi party apparently.
Oh no! Oh no!
Wait,
Yo, that's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
I said no. Don't knock it before you try it. That's all.
Oh hell no, bro. Hell no. I'm tired. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. It's only been 34 minutes and I'm tired. I'm
He's
tired
Is
of
this
both
your
of you.
first podcast? This is the first one you want on your channel?
This is why it's the first part.
Listen, I'm not saying I agree with Doflamingo and his actions. I'm just painting the picture. That's all. I'm an artist.
I'm an artist.
That's all. Giving everybody their day in court. That's all. You know what I'm saying?
So Murphy,
Oh man. Yeah.
you've met Brago. How do you?
Hey.
Hey, listen, I'm not saying I agree with Doflamingo. I mean, he's my favorite character, but it's not because of that.
Easy. Okay, that's right. Your intro is Doflamingo.
Dolphin and Cat, yeah.
Okay, why is he your favorite character?
I think his charisma more than anything, and I think he's the best antagonist in One Piece. And for me, typically in any show I watch, I think the antagonist is what makes me enjoy it more than anything. So,
Sure.
yeah, I kind of lean that way.
That's why you're rereading Chimera Ant.
Partially. It's fire though. I mean, it's HunterXHunter. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like
it's HunterXHunter. Speak fiction. Nah, I
You're not
agree.
wrong.
I agree. Speaking of HunterXHunter, okay, want to take a break till we can go beyond One Piece. Brago, you've mastered this beyond gimmick before I have, but we're here now. So
get it.
Murphy, what is your favorite arc on HunterXHunter?
Chimera Ant.
Okay. A lot of people, Chimera Ant is like the default answer to me, but a lot of people say York knew.
I'm gonna
So
say
I was
this.
wondering-
I don't know if it's the default though.
It doesn't seem to be the default because it's a split
Nah.
between York New
York
and
New
Really?
and Chimera.
Yeah,
I feel
it's
like
a big
people who
split.
actually read though is Chimera, but I feel like York New appeases to more casual fans.
Interesting.
Because when I see a lot of people like, oh my God, Chimera is so slow, I'm just like, bro, all of the buildup is for a reason. You need those early moments with Coates and their mom and them getting slaughtered and carried away, and like all that is necessary. So it's just like,
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest appeals of Hunter x Hunter is the world building. You have
Yes.
to build up all the different elements for it actually to get tangled together to have that big climax that it had.
yes, I agree. I mean, Chimera is the best arc one in Hunter x Hunter for sure.
I didn't watch the anime. I exclusively read it, so I don't know the difference between the two.
Oh, okay. So if you haven't watched the anime, I would say the narrator for the anime really, really improves the quality of the entire. Like the anime is good as is, but the narrator, there's something about it. I don't know, Brago, if you agree or not. There's something about the way the narrator explains things, immerses you in the story like 10 times more. And I think Chimera Ant with the narrator, I don't know, bro.
I say this because recently watching and reading, what the narrator definitely helps, but reading, what it does is like you focus a bit more, right? Because with the anime,
I agree with
it's
that.
music, it's a narrator, it's action, and so sometimes you kind of lose focus on what I think Togashi's trying to say. So like I've watched Chimera so many times, I haven't read it as many times, so like rereading it, I like Mera more in the manga. Like he feels like more of a, I don't want to say sympathetic, but I see his development a lot clearer in the manga. I'm just like, I see you now. Whereas like I was kind of blinded by like all that was going on. I liked him, but like now rereading, I'm like, man, I really, really like Mera.
What's the name of the character that starts with a P? His right hand.
Pito or Poof? Probably
Pito? Poof? Shire Poof?
Pito. I think I'm talking
Never
about
Pito?
Pito.
The butterfly
Yes,
or the cat?
The cat.
The cat.
Pito.
Yeah.
That scene where Pito like had wrists out and was like, do what you want, kill me, torture me, whatever, just let me accomplish this mission. That scene stuck with me for, I want to say like 6 months. I like couldn't get that image out of my head, couldn't stop thinking about it. That arc, I still say to this day, Chimera Ant arc is one of the greatest, one of the most impactful arcs that I've read of any anime. It just like, it challenged me. It pushed those themes hard and wouldn't let me go.
Yeah, it's a lot of depth to it. I think even like a character like Welfin, you know,
I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I don't know names. Tell me who that is.
um, the guy that when the king was about to kill him before he knew anything, remember Poof was trying not to have him remember Komogi,
Yes.
and then
Okay. I'm with
yeah,
you.
and then the king was about to kill him, and they
Yeah.
said Welfin he aged 50 years,
Oh,
and then the king was about to kill him, and he wasn't sure like how he came to this conclusion. He just said Komogi, and then that's all it took for the king to remember everything. And just like moments like that, just like
mm-hmm.
stand out so much in Hunter x Hunter, and of course like the moment with Komogi and Mirim at the end, where it's just I don't know, but like I think I how I describe that scene is this is that's like almost like the purest form of like genuine love,
Mm.
like without all like any romantic feelings involved. Because I didn't feel that with Komogi and Meruem. It just felt like these people just like it's love. It's genuine love between two people. You know, that's kind of how I look at that scene.
I
Yeah.
think you could
I agree
I
with
think
that.
you could call it like genuine intimacy. Like
Mm.
the truest form of intimacy is like
Yeah.
understanding someone at a spiritual level. Because I think what really awakened Meruem was like getting rid of the physical and getting rid of like the the mundaneness of instinct and focusing on the soul. And it as his soul became wider, it almost penetrated to a point where it was like spiritual, where it's just like, all right, I'm connected to this person's soul. I just want to be near. Because I don't think he really, like you said, I just don't think he understands the concept of romance. I think he just
Mm-mm.
understood the level of closeness and intimacy,
Yeah.
and he couldn't understand it, but he could not get away from it, and he could not forget it.
Yeah.
Love became instinctive for him, where he didn't understand like why he felt that way about Komogi. And I think Komogi was a perfect person because she couldn't see him, right? So how she related to him was like she was looking at the person. And
Mm.
so it's crazy that the person that saw him for who he is more than anybody was a person that couldn't see.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think standing by him in his most intimate, or I'm sorry, in his most vulnerable moment
Mhm.
was what brought him to the point where he was kind of on that same level with her.
Yeah. Yeah. I even like what he said at the end where he's like, maybe if I, knew or felt this way from the beginning, I may have made different decisions. But then he's like,
Yeah.
maybe I needed to go through this. Maybe I wouldn't be here. So it's just like the realization and just the growth of all the ants, to be honest, all the from Pito, Poof, and Yuppie. Because Yuppie as a character, I know a lot of people don't talk about Yuppie, but like he underwent like a metamorphosis
Yes, he
that
did.
was crazy. Like Yuppie was like just this mindless brute, but he just continued to grow and grow. And it's just like, yo, Yuppie, man, like this guy's actually great. And
Yeah.
that's on the antagonist side. We had like amazing protagonists too. I mean, Killua and Gon, that
Yeah. I
I
think
don't
one
know.
thing that really stood out to me from both sides was just this big emphasis on there are no winners in war.
Mm.
And when we got to that final scene with Meruem and he was
Mhm.
laying there dying, like I was just feeling that even being reemphasized, even in that scene of just like nobody's winning here. Like even the people who are succeeding are descending into the
Yeah,
worst version of themselves. Like nobody's winning. This is not a
yeah,
success. This is not a victory.
I think
yeah.
him learning the concept of respect was it was like my favorite part because once he gained respect for Knuckle, he gained respect for was it Knuckle that allowed him to gain his respect? Was it his sacrifice for Morel and Knuckle? Because I remember he disrespected Shoot and Knuckle took like extreme offense to that.
Yeah.
The whole turnaround of him respecting Knuckle and Morel and their sacrifice for each other and choosing not to fight them and actually running away and honoring his promise was shock. It was so shocking to Knuckle and Morel. They just couldn't believe it. And for me, it was like, yo, this character development is different because he realized my priority is not these guys. Like, I respect their sacrifice, but I gotta go. There's something else I gotta do. Like, I
Well,
gotta go to the king.
I think the tough like it's almost like when I look at it, it's almost like if they came in, they're like, these are ants. They have nothing but instinct to kill. And
Yes.
that's your mindset going in. And over time, you're realizing, okay, they're not human, but they have so many human elements to them. I'm conflicted. Like I'm genuinely conflicted about like how to feel about these ants. And of course the ants, like they have human within them because
Yeah.
of the queen. So it's just like I think it's Chimera Ant did a good job of peeling back layers for the ants and for humans, and he kind of realized at their core they were just so similar, but you
Yeah.
had to see past just
Yeah.
the outer appearance. So it's just, I mean,
Yeah.
Chimera Ant is it's amazing, bro. It's
I agree.
fantastic.
I think it's a pretty common theme, I think, in a lot of sci-fi to do the whole like what makes something human. And just because it isn't humans like us, does that mean it has no humanity? Does it mean it doesn't deserve the same mercy or the same, chance? And I think Chimera Ant tackled a familiar theme, but did it in such a nuanced way where it tackled it from so many different angles and gave it a lot of nuance that it was just really impactful.
Yeah,
I
top tier
agree.
arc. I think there are a few arcs in anime, manga that I have above Chimera. Honest.
I
Yeah.
think Neto's realization that Netero was starting to understand humanity and empathy at a level where if he continued to progress, he's like, I won't be able to kill him anymore. I won't be able to fight him with the
Yeah,
malice that
Netero
I had
realized it about
prepared
Meruem.
for. Yeah, he
Mhm.
was like, I can't do it, because he
Mhm.
came up to Meruem with the free malice of all I gotta
This
do
is
is
an
kill him.
ant.
Yes,
This is
is
an
it. I
ant.
just gotta kill him. But the moment he sat down and said, "I'll spare some of you and put you in a farm," he's like, "Oh, this is dangerous." Because if he says, "You know what? I just want my own territory," now he's conflicted and he can't fight to his fullest potential. So that's why when he was cornered, favorite scene, best scene of Hunter x Hunter, I think, outside of Gon and Killua when he's about to kill Pito, but like the scene where Netero was like, "Do not underestimate the malice of human beings."
Of human
It's
beings.
like he was teaching Meruem one last lesson. He said, you're showing the good signs of humanity, but you don't know the bad side of us. And I'm about to show you why we really are great, but sometimes we just ain't shit." And the way he just went out like that is just like, you know what? I'm just gonna go out the way I'm supposed to. And it was a full circle. To me, it was a full circle.
You know what's crazy? Because I read it recently. I forget exactly, but it was in the election arc where they were showing just like the threat level of the Chimera ants in comparison to other things in the Dark Continent.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that panel?
Yep.
Um,
They were like
I
a
think
B.
Chimera ants were like
I
a
know.
B,
Yeah, they were a B.
right? And right beneath like all the different things like Hellbell and all the different disasters from the Dark Continent, it had like a human nation. It was an A. So I was just like, I didn't see that before. Meaning, like, are you saying like just a nation of humans is way more dangerous than like the Chimera ants, which I
Yeah.
thought was crazy. So
That's a good catch.
Predictability.
yeah.
You can predict
Hmm.
ants based on their instincts, but you can't predict the malice of humanity
Yeah.
randomly. That's probably what really raised their threat level.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, Hunter, it's an experience, and again, just going through election arc, the characters there, and then a moment we didn't talk about. This wasn't Chimera, but it's more so towards the end or the start of election with I think Killua went through the most for me growth as a character from the beginning and where he was at and his love for Aluka.
Yeah. I agree.
Um, you know, and how he started to accept Aluka for who she was and as a person, you know, just even with his family having the feelings they had for her and his dad and his brother and just like irrespective of all that, Kilo was just like, I see you, I love you, and I'm gonna protect you no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
In comparison to Killua was at the beginning of the story, where Killua was just like
Oh yeah.
looking to
Yeah.
kill everything.
Yes.
Everything. Yeah.
It's I'm just like, Killua, man.
Yeah.
Like, he's
And that
fantastic.
loyalty was shown to Gon as well. Like it was for both of them. It was like he was introduced to familial love and to like true honest relationship, and it switched him.
And I think that's the thing with Gon. I know a lot of people don't look at Gon as the best character, but I feel like having a constant like Gon, it allowed Togashi I guess he had the ability and he could somewhat develop everybody else around that constant. It was just like, you know what you're gonna get from Gon. Like how can I use this character to impact everybody else around him? And I think there's even moments where Kurapika, like he's set in his ways as far as like I'm killing the Phantom Troop. Then he gets around Gon and he's like he just chuckles himself like Gon. Like I guess you're never gonna change, you know?
Never.
Where it's like that's the few times you see Kurapika smile after he starts on this like vengeance tour, it's like when he's around Gon. Or when he interacts with Gon. Because he's just like he's just so pure, you know. And then even the I always think about that moment with when Gon was about to die in the Hunter exam.
Yep.
I forget his name. The ninja. He's about to kill him, and Gon's just standing there like Hanzo, and he's just like
He just know things. That's insane.
it's
Pull out of nowhere.
I have a good
like
memory
there's
for this
no
stuff.
way. That's insane. Sorry, go ahead.
Nah, I mean I think with Gon is just like again he's not my favorite character, but I understand like his importance. It's almost like Luffy in One Piece, where you know I understand why Luffy has to be the way he is, just for other characters
I was
to kind of
thinking
shine a
Goku.
bit. Goku as well. Oh my gosh, I just recently I'm watching Dragon Ball for the first time.
Are you really?
Yeah, first time, and I love Goku so much.
Me too. Me too.
I love
Where
Goku
are
so
you in
much.
it?
We're at King Piccolo.
Okay.
King Piccolo. So, I was about to say, but I don't want to spoil, but this is like 30 years old. Roshi just died. Krillin died. Goku just got destroyed by Piccolo, and he just made his wish to become young again.
You have so much goodness ahead of you.
Yeah, yeah. So Goku, I think now look at MCs where it's like he's just great. Such a pure just kid. He's such a good person. Like even when he makes the wrong decisions, he still acknowledges it and he just moves on. Even with like there's no malice. He's just like, oh, like you apologize, cool, we're good. You know?
Yeah.
And I feel like even with Luffy's kind of the same way, but it feels differently because Goku is genuinely just a little kid. Like in the beginning, he's like patting everybody's crotch. He's like, "Are you a boy or a girl?" Like,
not the best method.
It's like, wait, what?
Not the best.
Like, what's wrong with this kid? Even Yajirobe, who's like a mountain man, he's like, "Yo, what's wrong with you? You don't know about
What's
breakfast,
up with him, bro?" Yeah.
You know, so like, nah.
So he's already
Goku's
done his
fantastic.
first wish.
Yes, he just did his first wish.
So I love that he has this quest, like he knows what he needs. He wants to get these Dragon Balls for the sake of having this memento from his granddad.
Mhm.
And then when he sees some random person that he barely knows that has lost, I think it was she lost her dad, and he was just like, yeah, obviously I'm going to use this for you. Obviously, like, that's just what I'm going to do. Like, that so well encapsulates who he is that he's just like,
Yeah.
no problem. I'll get it back. It's not a big deal. I'll give this to you. I don't need a big reason.
With Upa when
yes, that sounds right.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
you know,
Upa lost his dad. Goku did everything just to get his dad
I
back.
was a little boy. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a boy.
Yes.
Yeah. Nah, that was. I mean, he's just pure. He's pure. And then even when he pulled up on Yajirobe had the Dragon Ball, and he didn't like force it away from him. He's just like, yo, I want to get the Dragon Ball because if I don't, somebody's gonna come and get it. And he's like, you can wait around if you want to, you know. And then like off of Goku being who he is, eventually Yajirobe just gave it to him. I was like, all right, you got it, you know. So it's just, I love him.
He's humble too. When he's like some kind of prodigy, you know, and old man Roshi is like, well, it's gonna take you like 8 years to figure out this technique, and he's like, okay, so like this.
Kamehameha right away. No, but even when he fought Krillin in the World Tournament,
yes,
like, he didn't just body Krillin right away. Like he was just like, you know, we can have a good time. Da, 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 da. I was like, oh man, Goku, you're such a good friend.
He is. He's such a charming lead.
Yeah, yeah. And then I really like TN too. A lot of people don't like TN, but I really like TN.
I like TN. He's the wolf guy, right?
No, that's Yamcha.
Daggone, who's TN?
TN's the bald one.
With the third eye. With the third eye.
At least I'm predictable. Oh.
Yeah.
I'm almost positive I like him.
Almost positive?
Impossible.
I was surprised based on how great I think TN is in Dragon Ball. Because I've seen some of Dragon Ball, how somewhat irrelevant he is in Dragon Ball Z. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, wow, TN isn't focused on more in Dragon Ball. Like, he's great. I don't know.
Oh, so you're familiar with Z. This is just your first time going to Dragon Ball.
Right. I'm familiar. Yeah.
Okay.
So I have like context of certain things. So like I know characters like Yajirobe and Korin, but like seeing him meet them for the first time, I'm like,
where they came from. Yeah, it's
like even. So here I am thinking, man, you've got the world ahead of you, but never mind.
But yeah, I've seen some of Z.
You're reading the prequel right now. Okay, I got you.
But so even like knowing that TN is the first one to use Solar Flare, I'm like, oh, shit, that's cool as hell.
That's a TN technique.
So that's cool. Yeah, but I didn't know. I had no idea. And then General Mercenary Tao. Yeah, I know he's a villain antagonist, but I think Tao's great.
Shocker.
I don't know why I like him. I don't know why I like Tao, but he's great.
Craziest part is I've never read or watched Dragon Ball. I think maybe like half an episode I've watched.
Jay.
Not once. It's something I plan on.
Have you done Z?
Yeah, I've done Z. I've seen everything but Dragon Ball, which is kind of crazy to say. I started with
Dragon Ball. I evolved to Z. I read it in order. I'm not like
as you should. You probably had a great time. Yeah.
I did. The twist was actually a twist. I was like, what are we doing?
Yeah. So it's something I need to do.
I recommend it, Jay.
Yes, you do.
1000%.
So good.
It makes me appreciate even now watching Daima, where it's a moment where Goku just goes back to Bulma and he's like, hey, you remember this? And it's the power pole. I'm just like, oh.
So I know about that little stuff. Like I know about the King Piccolo, I know about the egg and some of that stuff. And like, so like I know bits and pieces, but Dragon Ball as a whole is just it. So even if I watch it, even if I know all this stuff, I'm still probably gonna enjoy like every single episode and like see what you guys are talking about as well.
Sure.
Well, now your chat's gonna bully you into watching that too.
They're trying to, but I think I've gotten stronger, so we'll probably do that. Murphy.
Hi.
Have you watched Shangri-La Frontier before? I know you're not an anime watcher, but have you heard of it? Because Bragg, I know you're watching that, right?
Yeah, I haven't seen season 2 yet.
Okay.
But I watched all of season 1.
Okay, if you watch all of season 1, then if you take your time, you do what you got to do. But hey, Shangri-La, that's good. Really, really good. That was
season 2. Can we go 2 episodes in to season 2?
2 episodes in. 2 episodes in.
Yeah.
I would say definitely take your time on that. Take your time on that. But here's one. So Murphy, you're more of a manga reader. Brago, you're kind of more both. But there's a lot of new series out there. The state of anime and manga is at an interesting time. JJK ended. I don't know. You didn't do any JJK content, right, Murphy, or did you read the manga as well?
No, I haven't done anything with JJK.
Okay. I'm not going to say anything because I'm genuinely curious if you're just going to do that, like do a full read. I want to see the perspective of someone that reads JJK from start to finish because we all read it week to week and it finished. I'm not going to say anything on that. But in terms of the state of anime and manga, everything's kind of died down. And One Piece is kind of standing alone right now at the very, very top. Where you shaking your head or you agree?
No, it's definitely at the top, but it's like 25 years later.
25 years later, One Piece is still standing and it's still, at the end of the day, it's still at the top. And I'm just so curious is like, what is the state of anime and manga going to be in the next 5 to 10 years with a lot of the heavy hitters like MHA and JJK and Naruto and Bleach all kind of gone away. The people that would put that had the brands that was reaching the One Piece level. I don't think there's any brand right now that is close to One Piece at all right now. I'm very curious how you guys are seeing the market and the whole genre itself evolving from here. Whether it's gonna go down, have we reached our peak, or are we actually, or what's happening? What are you guys feeling?
I'll let you go first. You're more of a veteran on this.
I would say you can tell that even for Shonen Jump, Toei, they just released a new Dragon Ball season. The Dragon Ball still hasn't been freed, you could say. So at the end of the day, they understand that there are gaps that they need to fill. And that's why I think One Piece is never going to go away, because it can't, you know. But I think they're fishing for something, but it's just like today it's a lot more difficult to kind of find that super series, because back in the day, series got more time. You gave the build up, you had the episodic beginnings, it was slow. Nowadays, it's like if a series doesn't completely come out and like dominate, it's like it's ending. There are a lot of series ending where it's like the mangaka, they're not getting enough time to end their series.
Mm-hmm.
So in 5 to 10 years, it's still going to be Dragon Ball and One Piece, or they're going to try to bring back other things that dominated in the past. I wouldn't be surprised for Yu Yu Hakusho remake. You know, they might remake Hunter x Hunter again. I don't know. You know,
I can see that.
It's like the Hunter x Hunter anime. If Togashi keeps this up, it's 1000% going to continue. Right, we're going to get some more of that, because it's like they're going to somewhat go with some of the IPs that are, you know, that people know of and are super popular because they just need it. And then we had some that were bubbling for a while that kind of got, you know, axed for different reasons. I know Act Age, a lot of people talked about that, and that was crazy. But then there was something with the manga.
The author was bugging.
The author was bugging. Like, there's something crazy
going
on there. Yeah. So, I mean, essentially, I think you're not going to have Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, those things again, because how we are today, people don't give things enough time for it to build. They have to remember Naruto, all this, it was a lot of episodes, a lot of chapters. And so ultimately, some of the old things, that's what's going to be lasting, because we don't have the attention span that's going to give a lot of these things time to build.
I agree. I agree with you. I think a lot of it is also just like the age that we're in. I didn't grow up with anime and manga, but grew up with books. And the same conversation happens in the book community. You know, we had our Harry Potter, we had our Hunger Games, we had our Divergent, we had these big explosive series that everybody grew up talking about. And these were like the series that were household names. And there's not a lot that holds that presence anymore. And I think that's partially to do with just we're in a different era where now, you know, a big book release or a big chapter release isn't everybody going to the brick and mortar and meeting up and having the community. It's all online. And because everything is online, you get an extreme amount available to you, as opposed to just the popular ones are the ones you hear about. You have access to everything. So you can just pick around on everything. And with the age of the internet, you know, Frieren was popping for a long time. It was like, Frieren, this is what everybody's talking about. And nobody talks about Frieren. And that's true for most series these days.
Yeah.
Something gets a flash in the pan, but it doesn't have longevity anymore. I don't know what the solution to that is. That's just the pattern that I see now in Hollywood, in books, in manga. It just seems to be what age we're in.
Well, we talked about this as YouTubers, where it's like you drop a video and you know the work that went into a video, and you're like, all right, I would like for people to enjoy this for a little while. And one of the comments on the video, when's the next one?
Yeah.
And it's just like, you know, I think
consumption.
It's just, we need it. We need more and more and more. And it's just like, I feel like you said, because there's so much to consume, like outside of anime, manga, movies, TV shows, now webtoons are popping, you know, all these different things that people can enjoy. It's just like people are like, all right, I'll just find my entertainment somewhere else. So like all these different mediums are like just jockeying for position and fighting for your attention. So it's, and again with YouTube itself, where it's like a lot of people watch YouTube more than anything. They're like, oh, I just watch this YouTube channel. I watch this. And so it's just like, if an anime isn't gripping the people right away, they're like, all right, just watch something else. Or like after, like you said, after the Frieren is done, they're like, all right, it's like, you got 20 more anime coming out.
So what's next?
Like what's the next season looking like?
Yeah.
So it's just,
we're just so used to being entertained. It's like, okay, I'm not even interested in this, but I'll have it playing in the background just to have noise, rather than a dedicated fandom that goes into forums and finds other fans and, you know, meets up and has this community. It's just like, just something playing.
That's why with One Piece, it's the last of the Mohicans, bro. Like just how we reacted to the fan letter. I think it's how much time we spent with it, and how deep we are into the fandom. We read SBSs, you know, Viver cards. We do all these different things. We're locked in with it. I don't know if anything else will ever have this type of fandom. I just not in today's.
Hope we're wrong. Hope it changes and that big, like the community aspect of things comes back.
Yeah. I think the thing that I've noticed is like the level of discussion around the series that you can create, because the reason JJK took a strong hold of the community is because there was so much to discuss. There were so many different factors, characters, direction that it's going in. It's really about discussion. Like Frieren, people were saying this in the chat. Frieren is such a feel-good series, and it's just good generically that you don't have much to discuss about it. You just enjoy it. And I think what people are doing is they're creating a lot of series that you can just enjoy, but they're not creating series you can really sit down and talk about and have like discussions and dialogue. Like if you look at HunterXHunter, one chapter came out and you got a strong week of discussion just on one chapter, you know. And even with My Hero, most people like to slander My Hero. They called it mid, but people were talking about My Hero every single week. Attack on Titan, people were talking about Attack on Titan every single week, because they had enough time to do the world building, they had enough time to flesh out the characters, and they're like, well, I wonder what this is, and I wonder what that is, and I wonder what this is. The sad part is Seven Deadly Sins was on that trajectory. It just fell apart, like completely fell apart. So like, we need another series that's going to generate discussion, and we haven't had that. We need another one to take the place. And the industry is pushing out so much isekai feel good animes. It's like there's not gonna be much to talk about with an isekai because we've seen the same gimmick before. So like we need another ongoing series.
I bet there's a lot of series out there that offer a lot of discussion. I think it's just that so saturated that it's hard for those ones to rise up.
Because Jay, you're talking about Frieren, like you guys both seen Frieren, right? Like all of it.
I'm still catching up
like
to on Patreon, but but I'm still
I feel like there's a lot in Frieren that
I think there is too.
Like, I think Frieren is like her as a character, and even the characters around it. Even a lot of the side characters, they just develop so well.
I love Stark.
Like
he's my favorite right now.
What episode?
Even just like,
I'm on episode 21.
In the 20s?
21, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay, you're far.
Yeah, you're. Okay.
I think even like offshoot episodes that are just a moment in time and not in their main journey, like the episode with the dwarf that was guarding the town, like that episode had me weeping. Like I was so moved by it. I think it was 2 episodes.
Yes, it was.
I think Frieren and her, it was I don't know if Jay's there yet.
I'm literally in the mage exam arc, like literally right there, and then Decken.
Okay.
Yeah, with Decken and Frieren met, like that's where I'm at.
Decken is great. Decken is actually great.
I'm right there.
It's Frieren. I think for me, Frieren is the one that, because she's so hollow at the beginning, like she's just, nothing really matters. I don't care about anything. It is what it is. And then I think her growth to like, I'm not gonna say exactly what she does, but she does something for, what's her name? Her understudy.
Fern.
Fern, right? She does something for Fern that she initially doesn't care about, and she does it so nonchalantly.
Yeah.
And then Fern is like, huh? And it's just like, you see the growth in her character from just the first episode, and then even well, Jay's not there yet, but like I think Frieren is like a gem that
I agree.
probably should be talked about a little more, even more than people
I
are talking
agree.
about it.
I do agree.
Because there's so many characters, bro.
Even
It's so
early
good.
episodes, like the corrupt priest who tried to get her to take Fern on. And
Hyder, yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
like,
Hyder was so
yeah.
good.
And he's like, no problem, just do this research for me, just figure this out, and just kind of keeps her, because he knows he can't push her, but he knows that if she would take Fern on, then it would actually be meaningful to her. It would be helpful to both of them. And he can't leave Fern without him, without someone to care
Without
for
somebody
her.
else.
And so he's like, yeah, so he hangs on and he pushes her and he lets it happen in its own time, and then he can pass.
It feels like he sees her. He sees Frieren.
Yeah.
He knows who Frieren is. And he's just like, as much as I feel like Fern needs you, you probably need her as well. Because I'm the last one, right? Like you really have nobody else. And so like he understands Frieren. He can reach her in different ways. And that's how he, like you said, allows her to kind of stick around. And you know, it's just like I said, bro, the character writing with Frieren is so good.
It's
Even how much she learns from, is his name Hummel? The one that
Himmel.
passed away?
Himmel.
Yeah.
Hummel?
I like how they go
Even
back
how
and
much
forth.
Me too.
And they don't like, she doesn't realize how much she's learned until like the moment presents itself. She's like, oh,
Yes.
hell, he did talk about that.
Yes.
And then she kind of like uses that lesson to somewhat fix what's going on in the present. It's just like,
for the things that she puts value into, the things that's the little things that don't seem important until we get the context and we realize that it's important because of the relationship that was built around that thing.
I think my favorite part about those moments with Himmel is that it's like no matter whether you think someone will get it now, your hope is that they get it later. And that's why Himmel did a lot of the things he did, because when it matters the most, it'll come to memory and you're like, oh wow, I can see why he told me that. And that's, I think, as for people that are parents, you appreciate that more because you want your children to remember your voice later on down the line when you're telling them certain things. Like for me, I remember some stuff that my parents used to tell me, like to always be this way with people, always be kind to people no matter what. And there's moments years later on down the line where I'll run into somebody and they're like, hey man, you remember me? And I was like, yeah. Like perfect example is like there was this person, my parents always raised me to like just be kind. And I was too kind. I was overly kind. I was doing stupid stuff, right? And there's a stranger in my class and he said, man, I don't have a ride home. I was like, you know what, man, I'll give you a ride. Never knew the dude. Don't know him at all. He was in my class. I dropped him off. He was cool. I used to give him rides after every class. I never knew this dude. 5-6 years later, I'm at my job. This guy works at the same company I work at in the same position I am. He hits me up and he's like, yo, man, I remember you. You used to give me rides from school all the time. I want to help you get a promotion at your job because I'm doing the same thing and I went up. To this day, this dude still hits me up. To this day. And it's like, he only remembers me because I literally blindly gave him a ride home for no reason in college. And I didn't see him for another 5 years. And it was in that moment that made me realize, I'm like, sometimes just being good and being kind is just good for your soul and you just leave it. But you never know when it pays dividends. Like, you never know. So I think with Himmel, he was, all the things he did for Frieren in that moment, my favorite moment, I just came across it. It's like how she was taking care of Fern when Fern was sick. And just holding her hand and rubbing her head. Those small little actions, I look at it and I'm just like, oh my God, she's turning into a mother and she doesn't even realize what's happening to her. So it was like those little actions that her back then, how it would come for her to show. I just know it's going to make her feel better. Out of her. And I love it. Like, I really, really love
the story
it.
does it where it's like, sometimes it paints Fern as like Frieren's motherly figure almost, right? Where it's like Fern has to take care of Frieren. And then you kind of realize just how, I want to say Fern is like, at the end of the day, she's a kid. And she has like these moments, especially she uses Stark as well, where she kind of beats up on Stark, where she like gets like a lot of her frustration out on Stark. And
She's
realized
not super
that's
good at communicating with him.
She's not.
Oh my
she's
gosh.
so terrible. So
that was
terrible.
driving me crazy for a while. I'm just like, oh my god, Fern, please just talk to him. Because Stark is always like, I don't know, what did I do?
Like, what is it?
It's like,
I'm
"What is going
sorry.
And she's like, oh, you don't realize it? Then she just storms out. And
I
Fury's just like,
know. Felt bad for the kid.
I felt so bad for Stark. Oh my gosh, man. But then it's like she's a kid and like she really can't use Frieren as like an example and she's trying to figure it out. But then Frieren has her moments where she turns into mom and she does these things that she learned from Himmel and all the other different people. And it's just like everybody's growing in different ways. And so that's really one of the reasons why I enjoy it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Frieren is great.
It is
It's
great.
so
And
good.
it takes its time. Has so
It
many
does.
slow moments of just quiet and music. And it just lets that it's very Lord of the Rings to me.
If you two love Frieren, I want to pose something to you guys. Have either of you watched Ranking of Kings? Either of you?
Yes.
I've seen 15
have.
episodes.
Okay, so you've seen enough to know how good Ranking of Kings is then.
Yes, I say it has like an amazing start.
Okay, and it tails off in the end. You should see the second season. You actually should see the second season. I promise you, the second season is so much like Frieren. It's literally Frieren. I'm not kidding. You have to see the second season. It makes up
I think
for the
what
ending.
happened was I think it's episode 15 where we got to a point where like it was like so much happening and it felt so almost absurd. It was like I'll come back to it. But I thought the start was amazing. I thought it was wholesome. I thought like some of the betrayal that was happening. I was like, oh, this is great. And I really loved was Boji? That was his name?
Boji,
Oh,
yes.
hey, same time. Boji.
Yeah.
I just looked it up.
I think with characters like that are just so, and it's kind of the reason why I like Goku. Like he's just pure, you know. He's just a kid, just pure, can't really speak, just figuring it out. And I really enjoyed everything with Boji, so I did like it.
No, I agree. I think Boji makes the story, but I did come away from most episodes saying, "What?"
I forgot exactly, but it was like somebody came back from somewhere, and then now they're in like, they're in the castle. It was like people like getting reincarnated, and it's like, I was like, okay, maybe I just
It was chaos.
let me give it some time. I'll come back to it, but it started so well. It was an amazing start. I binged it. I was like, this is amazing. Oh no!
Yeah,
but
I had a similar
shot.
experience.
I'll try it again, Jay. I'll definitely try it again.
Yeah, definitely. The second season is worth it. It is.
Bancho? No, that's not it. I thought I had it. Never mind. Ignore me. Don't.
Bancho.
Okay.
All right, so we've talked a lot about the other animes and other series. I do want to reel it back a little bit, because at the end of the day, we are One Piece content creators.
Ew, we're beyond.
I love it.
That's the whole point of this, Jay. We're beyond.
That's the point. We're beyond it.
We are so beyond One Piece at this point.
Come on,
chat. They're beyond One Piece. We're beyond One Piece. Is it Bleach time?
Content
I wish
creators.
you guys, Murphy, please, can you start reading Bleach? Like, why have you? What is going on? Why is it taking you so long to start Bleach?
Well, in the wise words of Brago, too many people are asking me to do it, so I'm just like, okay, I'll wait.
Yo, I can't do it, bro. I can't do it.
Bleach.
Yeah,
Here's the thing. I watched Bleach when I was a kid. Who?
Bankano. That's what I wanted to recommend. I think Jay would like Bankano.
Bankano. Oh, Baccano. I've heard that's really good. Baccano. Yeah. I've heard that's really good.
I've heard about Baccano. I haven't seen that. I've heard about it though.
It is also a lot of what? But it's such fun. Sorry.
Like Jay,
ahead.
you watch Oshinoko, right?
I watched the first episode, and it is like a movie, one of the best episodes I've ever seen in my entire life, but I have not just watched it all the way through.
Okay. Oshinoko, I'm like 9 episodes in. Sometimes I don't know what I'm watching, but I like it.
It seems good.
JoJo's, but...
I've seen JoJo's.
It's about
JoJo's?
It's about Popeye.
Yeah, I know you have, Jay. We've watched a bunch of it together.
Yes, we have. Yes.
It's basically my favorite thing right now.
Seen part 1, part 2. I just started part 3.
You just started part 3?
I just started Stardust Crusaders.
Yes.
I mean, I really do like JoJo. I like how over the top it is. It's something, especially about the anime. Like they really go hard with the sound effects. Like they go out of their way to make you feel all the sound effects. So I love JoJo.
You do? Okay. It's my favorite. I love it so much. And I really love part 3. It's so good. Do you like our lead in part 3?
Jotaro.
Yes.
I like Joseph more.
Okay.
As you should. Currently.
Right?
Hey now. All right.
I think Joseph is just amazing.
Joseph
I think he's
amazing.
great.
His little tag, like, boop, in the middle of a fight. Like, sir, you need to not.
He's insane, right? He's out of his mind. He's quirky, but he's so lovable and he cares about everybody. So I think at this point, Jotaro is like, he's super edgy, but I can tell like he's hiding true feelings behind that because of like, it was a scene with his mom and she's sick. Well, first off, it caught me off guard because she was like so happy to see him because he was in jail. He's like, "What do you want, you bitch?" I'm like, "Wait."
You're like, wait a minute. What?
And I'm like,
you see this what we on?
She's such a sweet lady.
He's like, watch this trick.
She's such a sweet lady. And it's like, he's like shooting himself. And I'm like, okay, what is wrong with this kid? And then, you know, when it had a moment where like when she's sick and he's trying to like, you can tell he's trying to hide his feelings, but he really cares about his mom, you know? So, and there's a moment where like him and Joseph were like, I don't know what it is, but like Joseph, like he didn't attack him, but he's taking out like some of his frustration on him. He like grabs him. He's like, yo, old man, like chill out, you know, like relax. But I like Jotaro, but I like Joseph more.
Yeah.
And I think I like Jonathan more, even though he's an idiot.
Jonathan is, listen, a lot of people are hard on part 1. I love part 1.
We are.
I think it's great.
Okay. JoJo threw me off initially just because I did not understand Dio until people were like, yo, he's just a hater. I'm like, okay, now I get it.
That's all he is.
I'm like, bro, why are you so mad?
He's just a hater.
Why are you so mad, bro?
He's just that, bro. That's what he is. Generational. He's the definition of a generational hater. Like he hates generations. That's it, bro.
Bro, they brought him in. They fed him. They clothed him. They were like, Jonathan was just trying to be cool, and then he's stealing his girlfriend's first kiss. You kill his dog?
Yo, he didn't kill. He put his dog in the oven, bro. Like he cooked that bull. For what? That was so unnecessary.
Like slandering his name.
Matter of fact, yo, like the first thing when I saw him knee the dog, like it's one thing to kick a dog. He kneed the dog.
He needed.
I'm like, yo, that's unnecessary.
It was hate. It was just
it's pure hatred. Hate. And we got the puppy kicker right here.
It's me.
Then I started to like Dio. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes, you did?
I started like a little bit.
I was my favorite.
You know what? He's consistent. He's consistent.
Yeah.
It's just like no matter what. And then the voice actor. You know, Jay, you know the vibes of JJK.
Yeah, you already know. Listen, man, Toji, yeah, that's it. Yeah. She don't know about Toji yet. You're gonna have to let her.
She don't know yet. She don't know yet.
You're gonna have to let her.
I don't know. But I know Dio.
Dio.
I couldn't be happier. My goodness, the monologuing, the like falling down a well, and the well's like this big, but the fall takes 10 minutes. They cut the whole way down.
Oh.
Like I could, oh my goodness. I'm
Jordan's a great time.
Part three is a good time.
So
I
extra.
think so anyway.
Oh my goodness.
Mad extra, but I love it.
Yeah, so you're gonna enjoy it. I want to know your take. I really want to know your take on part 4. So once you finish part 3, watch part 4. And then tell me, because part 4 is my favorite part. That's my favorite JoJo.
Part 3 is my favorite.
Tell me to get to. People always talking about part 5.
She's on part 5.
That's what I'm on right now. I'm on part 5 right now. It's very good.
People tell me a lot about part 5.
Mm-hmm. It is very good. I'll just say that part 3 has my favorite anime ending of all time.
Well, I think JoJo's ending, part 1 and part 2, I believe, where it's just like, it's the like, I didn't know what it was from at first, but I heard it everywhere. See, when I saw it was JoJo, I was like, oh, this is crazy. This is crazy. This is amazing. But nah,
Yeah.
I love JoJo's endings. Love the endings.
Yeah, you're in which one is Roundabout? Which JoJo part is Roundabout?
Which one is what?
Roundabout.
Roundabout?
Yeah, that's the name of the song. It's like,
Roundabout.
yeah, I think it's part 2.
The part 1.
No, that's
Yes,
part 2.
Part 1 or part 2? Where like
with the,
starts it starts at the end of the episode. Where's right?
Yeah.
Where's
part 3 is Roundabout.
Part 1 and 2.
Yo,
Because remember part 1 and
Yeah, that's true. It is. I forgot about that.
Okay, that's true. That's
part
true,
1 and
that's
part
true.
2 is season 1.
Yo, what is up with my connection? Oh my god.
They say bodega.
Yeah, like it's actually like it's tweaking. Like, and it was never this bad. We're technically fine because I'm recording, so like you guys are okay, but like
Oh yeah.
for them,
Okay, bet.
yeah, for
Oh,
for
is
them
it
that
stream
crash.
in and out?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just fluctuating. Like, it's not cutting the
Because
stream.
you're on landline, right?
I'm not even
Ethernet?
on a landline. I'm on a hotspot, a wireless hotspot, because it's a long story. Let's just leave it at that. It's a standalone Verizon box hotspot, but let's not. I don't want to get into it because I'm gonna crash out. I'll crash out if I talk about it. So it's just like, listen. Just let's not get into it. Don't even. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's here. Someone's calling. Yo, they saying Zelago instead of the world though. That's crazy. But like, yo.
They said too many rats.
Yo, it's fine. We're okay. We're okay. This has been hilarious. Oh my god. Okay, so we got JoJo's. We've talked HunterXHunter. We've talked Frieren. We talked Ranking of Kings. It's been great, and I know we're supposed to go beyond, but there's also one thing I'm curious about, because there's been a very common
brand like behind him.
No, of course. There's a very common trend that's been going on. There's been a very, very common trend that's going on. I know you've seen it, right? There's one character that's been getting slandered terribly lately, and I think it's warranted. However, I want to know what you guys' opinion. No, I ain't talking about Kid. I'm talking about Usopp, right? So, like, how do you guys feel about Usopp and Elbaf? Because it's true, he hasn't done anything. He hasn't done anything of note since Dressrosa, like a real Usopp moment. Do you agree with this take, or do you think it's unfair?
Okay, I'm of two minds. One, if Oda does plan on doing anything with Usopp, he is starting him off by emphasizing that he's one of the weaker members and oftentimes easily gets beat up, and then building on that arc makes sense. But two, I also think Oda cares a little bit less about giving our characters their big moments in arcs than we do. So I think he'll get a moment. I'm not sure he's going to get something huge. I mean, he'll get a moment that's big. I'm not sure he's going to get a big arc that lasts for a long time.
Usopp. So I've come along with Usopp. I hated him for a while. I know a lot of people like the Water 7 moment. A lot of people were kind of like, I was not
Mutiny.
with it. Yeah, I was not with it at all. I was like, Usopp, you were bugging out. This is insecurities. They're wearing their ugly head. Then after a while, I realized like Usopp is necessary. Like Usopp is, again, giving us some of the perspective of the fan letter where he's like the regular person for the most part on the Straw Hats in this slew of monsters. And I think what people want is for Usopp to be a monster. I'm just like, at the end of the day, he's never going to be a monster. I think in Elbaf, the best thing Oda can do, because even after Elbaf, Usopp is still going to run away. He's still going to be scared. He's still going to be like, those things are still going to be a part of his character. So I think the best thing Oda can do in Elbaf that I would like is more of a realization of what he is and using that strength that he has that is unlike what Luffy, Zoro, and them can do to somewhat save the day or have a major impact. So like, even if he's somebody that can, you know, somehow stop Loki or do something that I think makes a difference, but it can't just be Usopp powering up and getting like a legendary weapon or something. Like, it just doesn't fit, and I don't think it's gonna work. It's just gonna feel weird if he goes back to who he is. I do think we do have a moment with like Usopp, like Oda plays with the David and Goliath thing with Usopp in Elbaf, but ultimately I would think just more perspective and understanding for Usopp. I think that's all I need. Is it going to be what people want? No, I don't think so.
I agree. I think that Oda should utilize him as a sniper more. If he could just have some really great strategy sniper moments, it would be more than enough for me.
Yep.
I think, give him observation hockey. Let him be the one that can evade anything, you know, where it's like things don't really hit him. Like for him, like you said, with strategy, with a plan, you can't beat Usopp. Develop him in that way, and that's different from the.
I agree.
But a lot of people expect like this big power jump, and Usopp is going to change.
I think that would be disappointing. I think it would be too easy to just change his character entirely. We just need to play to his strengths and show that he can be something incredible while still maintaining who he is.
So that's the thing I've been like frustrated with is like I don't expect anything grand to come from Usopp. Like I'm not expecting that, and I think that would be crazy. I just want him to be who he is, like who I've seen him be. Like all I need is him to step up in one moment where it's like, okay, I see the bravery in the moment where you step there. There's something that only Usopp can do that no one else can do, which is be a sniper. There's no other sniper on the crew, but he's not. I'm not seeing him be a sniper. Like I slander him. I call him a glorified gardener.
Moment out of him.
Well, that's the thing. Like that's what I call him, a glorified gardener, because he's not sniping anymore. Like he's actually not sniping. He's just shooting a bunch of plants and bamboo shoots. And I'm like, okay, I get you're trying to play the whole unique gimmick, but at the same time, like his role on the crew is a sniper. He is not a handyman because we got Frankie. We don't need you to do that. He's doing that because he loves the ship, but we don't need that anymore. So, like, show us the observation hockey that you've been given and snipe. Like, literally just snipe.
That's very inconsistent. That's showcased a lot. I think with Usopp, like, Oda is that he has this issue where it's so many characters. And so it's just like
crash again.
Who can I focus on?
Yeah, you can keep going. It's fine.
I'm sorry. You go. I'm listening.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the stream. I mean, stream is
the stream.
He said, because I was like, oh, it's fine, and I just saw Jay. He froze for like 10 seconds.
Yeah, it is what it is.
But you say we're recording it though, so like, it is what it is.
Yeah, it's recorded. Yeah. It's the recording. Does
yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
So they'll see it on the rerun. Another reason to go watch it when he uploads it.
Nah, but for me
go
personally, am I lagging? Can you guys hear me?
Wait,
I can
Murphy,
hear
can you hear Jay?
I can hear him.
I can just hear you.
I'm
kidding.
That's crazy.
Jay. Go ahead.
Oh, that's crazy. Yo, why is he? Oh my God! It just went down to. I don't Usopp to do anything crazy, and you had Robin's moment, you had Brooks' moment in Whole Cake, you've had Frankie's moment in Wano. Even Chopper with Queen and the Oni virus, like all of the Straw Hats have had a one big moment that you can sit down and remember. Like, oh man, like I remember that moment. That was crazy.
Not gonna lie, Jay. What's Frankie's moment?
Frankie with the first of all, in Egghead Island, him going up against Saturn, that was a big moment. Also, him squaring up to Big Mom as well and telling them we're not afraid of Amir Yako. That is also a moment that a lot of Frankie. There's been a lot of good Frankie moments lately. There's been a lot of good. Yeah, calling her young lady. I mean, Frankie punching out a vice admiral. God, Frankie part of the people that knocked Luffy into St. Marcus. We remember all these Frankie moments. Frankie been the MVP for a minute. I ain't gonna lie.
I think Brook clears.
Brook clears Frankie? I mean, no. Frankie's had more moments than Brook in the last 3 arcs.
Brook doesn't clear Frankie.
Jay,
how many poneglyph sketches has he gotten?
He stole the poneglyphs.
He broke Big Mom's picture frame.
Okay, that's all.
He went up to Big Mom.
Okay,
he stole the poneglyphs.
He did.
And he cut Prometheus, or Zeus. Prometheus, one of them. He cut Prometheus, called a young lady. Yes. Brook had he was MVP. Frankie was an MVP of Wano.
Yeah.
Frankie, Brook was not the MVP of Wano.
Frankie didn't even get the Kaido killing weapons.
The Kaido killing weapons was funny, but that's like Asanji's attack recipes. Let's not go there. All right, if we want to point plot holes, if we want to really dig into some plot holes in One Piece, we can, right? These attack recipes that Sanji had, we ain't seen one. We ain't seen one recipe yet.
He's kind of worked them into his other attacks. Or maybe he's intent on not using them because they're Kamabaka-esque. So it's just,
maybe he's just,
I'm not saying Frankie hasn't had good moments, but when I think of the signature Frankie moment, it doesn't compare to what Brook has done, right? Even Robin, I think Robin's a great moment with she become a devil or demon for her crew. I think that was amazing. I mean, I think Nami has moments every arc. I think Whole Cake with her even, talking to Sanji about what he did. I thought that was great. I think in Wano's saying that Luffy become the Pirate King even in the face of death. I thought that was great. For Frankie, I think Oda kind of throws him in this you're just gonna do something really cool, really quick, and then we're just gonna move on. I think that my favorite Frankie moment recently, which is crazy to say recently, is probably Senor Pink. That manly fight.
That was
fast and loose with the word recent.
I know. That's why I said
Dressrosa was 10 years ago. 10 years ago, dog. That's 9 years ago, dog. All right, it's a great moment. Don't get me
running
wrong.
over Big Mom.
It's not like Senor Pink. Frankie and Senor Pink, right? That's peak, right? I get it. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, Frankie has also had some great, memorable moments, very memorable moments as well. After that, not as memorable as Brook knocking over the picture. I won't lie. That was a huge moment. Him knocking over the picture was crazy.
Brook was amazing at Whole Cake, bro. Oh my gosh.
Yes, he was.
What were you gonna say, Murphy?
I think we need more of that. More of the smaller characters doing major things. I guess let's go to Wano. What's the major thing that a character outside of the Monster Trio did that impacted the war? Outside of Kinemon accidentally, leading them in the right way. I'm trying. That's.
When you're trying to list things Straw Hats do, you can't take Kinemon as your example.
I know, right? That's the thing. It's just I don't know. Chopper healing the figuring out the stuff with Queen.
Yeah, that was the first thing that I came up with, but
yeah.
I don't even think he was the most memorable part of that section.
No,
because Marco had to come and do the healing.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Luffy way upstaged him in that whole set. I don't even think that was Chopper's.
I think it's maybe Robin.
Oh,
Robin's moment.
Someone said it.
Sanji,
Nami and Ulti. That's probably the most memorable Straw moment. I think it was
pretty
Nami
good.
and Ulti.
Yeah, that's really good.
I think Brook alongside of Nami when Sanji had to call for help and Brook and Robin were together and Brook also could see past the illusions and they had that conversation about it's because of what they've already seen, what they've already endured. So they can see past illusions. They can see life as it really is. It was so small, but it was so significant to me.
Yeah, that Nami moment was great. We're saying Luffy's gonna become Pirate King. That Sanji moment, even though it was supposed to, Sanji had some moments in Wano as well.
Sanji had a ton of moments
where he did great things, but people somewhat slandered him for those moments, though.
I slandered him for Black Maria. I did, but the only thing is, and people have tried to convince me so many times, I just don't think it was necessary for us to get Khalifa 2.0. I just don't think it was necessary. At the end of the day, it was just another version of Khalifa all over again. It's like, oh, Sanji didn't call for help last time, and now he's calling for help. I'm like,
but that moment for
Luffy
Robin was
for
just
help.
amazing, though.
It was a great moment for Robin, but we could have done without it. We could have done without it.
Sanji's kind of the sacrificial lamb in these moments, though, Jay. Like Oda uses him as like, you know, for other characters to kind of build and develop a little bit and have their moments. Because Sanji's a character he can kind of have fun with a little bit. I think he uses Big Mom like that, where it's just like, yeah, like why are you doing this to Sanji? But like then he has his moment at the end. I wasn't too mad at it, you know, just because we got that Robin moment, but I could see either side.
I suppose. I mean,
I thought it was significant for the characters that ran to help him, because like they're supposed to be Nakama, right? They're supposed to fill in for each other's weaknesses.
This is true.
True.
I mean, even in the midst of them having all this strength, they're gonna have moments of weakness where they need help. Especially Luffy. You know, as strong as he is, how many times did he need help whilst fighting Kaido? Even from people that weren't Straw Hats.
He did.
It's just one of those things.
I'm still trying to think of significant moments side characters had that weren't the Monster Trio or Straw Hats had.
There's not many.
It's
Nami's the only one I can think of. There was not many.
There's not many. I don't know if we take the Egghead.
If you take Egghead,
Robin finding out that Saul's still alive.
But she didn't do anything.
She didn't do nothing.
She didn't do anything. It wasn't a feat of power. It was just an important.
It was a great moment for her.
It's a good character. It's a good character moment. But in terms of like something that I'm gonna think of, like, oh my god, like it's like memorable. Like it didn't last long enough for it to really be memorable because they really didn't harp onto it. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. Like when I think about memorable moments, you see the gravity of Nami sobbing as she doesn't back down because her life is literally on the line. You remember that because Nami's a regular girl taking headbutts from a freak of nature like Alti, and she's still not backing down. It's really hard to forget that moment. But with Robin, it's like Saul's still alive, we're excited, you know? So yeah.
I just thought of it. Maybe I didn't think, I don't know if I thought about it in the moment where like almost asking Nami to denounce somebody that she cares about is like the worst thing you could do to Nami. She's never doing that.
Never.
Because you gotta remember, like Nami and how she grew up.
Bellman, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so like Nami would never do that. So that moment just got even better in my eyes.
I didn't think about that. I didn't think about that.
I don't know. Outside of Nami, in Egghead, I can't
think of one in Egghead.
I think that may be part of it with some of the other Straw Hats. Like with Brooke, I remember seeing Brooke do that. And I wasn't the biggest Brooke fan just because I felt like Oda used him with just the skull jokes. It was like, oh, okay, it's cool. But like giving him that agency where he was doing so much, even in the midst of like Commanders and Yonko, and being successful, I was like, this is amazing. And it made me look forward to like other characters having their moments like that. And
Egghead was a lot more focused on giving Kuma and Bonnie their time.
It was Kuma and Bonnie, yeah. Kuma and Bonnie was like the main.
Light guy, Kizaru, got some excellent scenes. More than the Straw Hats.
Yeah, Kizaru got humanized very well in Egghead. I feel like the unfortunate thing is that everything with Kizaru turned into like this weird toxic conversation where people are like, you're just making excuses. It's like, bro, like there's a lot going on here that we need to talk about.
Yeah, and I didn't like that as well. Like, I think Kizaru was I don't know what, it's like people's opinion of Kizaru dropped after Egghead. I'm like, how could your opinion, he became my favorite admiral. There's genuine people that like looked at Kizaru differently. And it's like,
people felt like it was the excuses you were making was because he was losing to Luffy.
Yeah.
But he went into the battle saying, I'm not interested in doing this. I don't want to attack my friends.
There was so many moments for me when Kizaru was just like, it was one moment when Vegapunk is literally in front of him and he's like, hey, are you sure you ready for this? It's like, dude. And then we saw Kizaru snipe Aces, the key that Mr. 3 made, or the key that they had to unlock Ace's handcuffs from across Marineford.
Literally.
Oh,
And like every time he was missing Vegapunk, I was like, come on.
right,
Like,
right.
I was like,
right.
you know what you're doing.
Well,
bro.
and
we know what you're doing.
even when Luffy first squared up with him, he was like, I don't want to do this. Can you just move aside so that I can get
Let me do
done with
my
this
job.
and leave? Yeah. This isn't pleasurable for me. Like he made it very clear from start to finish. This is not what I want to be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people were looking at it like, no, he's actually trying really hard. Luffy's just really strong and he can't do anything about it. It's like,
He was sandbagging. And I told people too, like he didn't put his best foot forward, and I know it. I just know he didn't put his best foot forward. You could tell.
people didn't believe it till the tears. I'm just like, yeah, the guy. That's his. And then when I saw him dancing, bro, I was like, okay,
Bro, dancing
Like-
with he dancing with the ops. Like he's dancing, having pizza with him.
I'm
I'm
like,
like, bro, he's
no.
having a blast. He's
because
yo.
essentially he helped build Egghead,
Yeah.
and so he's just like, to send him is almost cruel, you know. And the
Yeah.
fact that Akainu was just like, my bad, brother. He even acknowledged it,
Yeah.
Big bad
Mhm.
Akainu.
Big heart.
know.
Bro. Yeah, bro.
I know. Just that one line did so much for even his character.
Yeah, he has a heart.
Who
He
would've
just hates
thought?
pirates
That's
and deserters.
I
But
wanna know-
I kind of feel the same with Kuzan as well versus Garp, where it was just emotions,
It was.
Like-
It was a highly emotional battle. Going back to their apprenticeship, their history together. Garp's still shepherding in the next generation, and now he has to face off the first person that he invested in.
And Kuzan acknowledging that, but also trying to show Garp like, this is like my answer. This is my
Right.
form of justice. Like,
Right.
I know you don't approve of it, but this is just something I need to do.
Yeah.
It was a very emotional back and forth between those two, and even Kuzan freezing his tears at the end. It's just, I mean, when it comes to like, I don't know how you guys view as far as characters, or how do you look at them in regards to admirals and the Yonko, in regards to Oda's writing style for them.
What do you mean?
Like, how do you guys like? Do you guys appreciate like how Oda kind of is sometimes surface level with the Yonko, and sometimes he's given? I feel like he's given more depth to the admirals a bit. I don't know. How do you guys look at that?
I don't feel that way. Sorry, go ahead, Jay.
I think the way I see it is like the admirals they're regular people with focus and duty. So they're just more developed human beings. But then when you look at Yonkos, they're kind of just reckless, almost mentally underdeveloped individuals. Like outside of Shanks, like when you look at Big Mom, because of her freakish power, she never really needed to develop the mental capacity or the focus to do what she wanted to do. She kind of just dominated from a very early age and just dominated everything around her. And it's the same thing with Kaido. I'm not the biggest fan of Kaido's character because I think the backstory is lackluster. But Kaido's whole character is centered around his ability to dominate everyone around him. With the Marines, it's always about, training yourself up to a certain level and earning your status. With the Yonkos and the pirates, it's just about dominating everyone around me and using my physicality to do it, and only focusing on my physicality and my power and my ability to do so. And then you just have a bunch of people following him. And I feel like with Marines, you actually have to garner respect through a system. With pirates, it's less about the system, it's less about how you can make people fear you. And maybe that's where the difference lies. I could be wrong, but I wonder what you guys' take on that is, because that's how I see that's why I'm starting to enjoy people like Kuzan and Kizaru a lot more than the characters of the Yonko itself.
I think it's responsibility for me. I think that's why I look at Shanks and Whitebeard a bit different than I look at the other Yonko, Luffy included, where for the most part, they kind of get to skate responsibility because they have others to take care of that. And it's like, I can just be Yonko, man. And so with Whitebeard, he acknowledged his sense of responsibility where it's like, I can't do certain things because of the repercussions, and I have to think about that. And Shanks is the same way, where he doesn't do certain things because of that. Whereas a Big Mom, maybe she has different plans, but even with her mental issues, it still allows her, like, where other people around her have to kind of pick up the slack. With
Yeah.
Kaido, it kind of feels like, well, it's all about strength. He can kind of escape responsibility with anything else. And so for the admirals, it's all about responsibility. Where I remember in Marineford when Akainu was telling Whitebeard, hey, stop destroying Marineford. And Whitebeard was just like, all right, protect it. Where like Oda's kind of showing us like, yeah, these admirals, they have a sense of responsibility and they have to acknowledge that. And that's something in their character that they kind of have to fight through. So I look at those two factions differently just because the admirals have a lot more that they have to worry about than the Yonko do.
Counter.
I'm listening.
Admiral, I like everything you said
Mhm.
about the admirals. Admirals have a sense of responsibility and duty, and they will set aside their own desires and dreams in order to fulfill that.
Mhm.
I would disagree that Yonkos are all about strength, though I do think that they use their strength to enforce what they're about. But I think that they're more about dreams and duty to their own and not the system. Um, I think there's a lot of depth to them. Big Mom has a history of being abandoned by her parents, mass murdered all of her found family, and now is locked inside this child's brain as this large adult with all this power. She's still a little kid mentally.
Mhm.
Kaido was a child soldier, and we met him trying to kill himself, and that really didn't ever end for him. That desire to just end it all. Um, Whitebeard had this great desire for bringing people into his family and giving them a father and giving them a place to be, and that was who he defended and that was what he was about. That was what he protected. Boa has her history of imprisonment and assault, and that she's highly motivated of protecting her women from men because of that. So I think the Yonkos, even Crocodile, golly, he went for the One Piece, lost his crew, doesn't believe that it can be done, doesn't believe that he faces off against Luffy. He's like, it's not going to happen for you. Sorry. Actually, similar story for Moria. He's given up because he lost his Nakama. I think I think each of the Yonko has a lot of depth to them, and what if they are fighting? Moria is not fighting. If they are fighting, they're fighting for their dream and for their people. And I think the admirals are fighting for duty and for the system that they believe is ultimately for the greater good. And they put their dreams and their people aside in order to accomplish that. We saw that in Garp too, in Marineford.
I think, hmm, I guess with the, like when we look at Luffy, for instance, and let's say Dragon, where everybody's like, Dragon, why aren't you doing what Luffy did by going to Marineford to save somebody? And for me, the difference is responsibility. And for Luffy, he can skate for a while because at the end of the day, it's like, or you can skate, period. Where people are telling him about things, he's like, oh, I didn't even need to hear it. I'm about to go to sleep. It doesn't matter. Where it's like, he can just be Luffy, right? And even somebody like with Kaido and his duty to the Yamato, where it's just like, something happens to Yamato, she got out, somebody else has to go get her. It's just like, I just get to be Kaido. For Big Mom, yes, she has a lot of trauma. There's a lot going on with her. But even with Whole Cake Island and how it's run, they're trying to sometimes protect Whole Cake Island from her. You
Yes.
know? So it's just like, again, with the admirals, it is like you said, they have to put aside some of their hopes, dreams, and their personal opinions because at the end of the day, their goal is to stop pirates. And who knows if those dreams were kind of eradicated more than likely because of pirates. So it's a bit deeper for them. But then they have to go up against like these monsters while taking into account some of the collateral damage that the Yonko don't have to worry about. So I mean, I guess I agree that the Yonko, they have different things to them, but they have this I guess, this sense of responsibility where it's like nothing else really matters than the people that are around me. When it's like, yeah, there's so much more to the world. Where we even
Yes.
talk about like after the celestial dragons are gone, right? And the Straw Hat saved the world. Now what? Now, Luffy. Now, what is your goal? What is your dream? Where's your sense of responsibility? But Luffy doesn't feel that because he doesn't care about that. And
It's true.
essentially, that's how he looks at being a pirate. Whereas, like, for someone like Dragon or even Kobe, it's like, yeah, I have to care about stopping pirates, but also like the world and the civilians and the people. And Luffy, ultimately, he is selfish because he cares about the people that he cares about, and those are the people that are close to him. So at the end of the day, for me, the difference is just mainly responsibility.
I think that that's very fair. I think
Mhm.
that there's flaws on both sides.
For sure.
I think looking after you and your own and your land and your territory and, you know, the rest of the world can do its own business. I'm worried about my business is
Mhm.
inherently flawed.
Mhm.
I think also though trusting the systems that be, the powers that be and saying laying everything aside, laying even my own morality aside, what I believe is right and wrong for serving the greater system that I'm under is inherently flawed as well, especially because sometimes the people who are in power are the people that would choose to abuse that power and abuse the people under them. And we see that in the system right now as they have to answer to the celestial dragons, to Emu, to the elders.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, like you said, there are definitely flaws in all of it. I'm thinking about, I guess, best case scenario. Celestial dragons don't exist anymore. Let's say the Marines they have, I guess, no one to answer to. They can carry out justice the way they probably would like to carry out justice. For Luffy as a pirate or the pirates that remain, like, what is the responsibility there? For Whitebeard, again, I view him differently because he understood it. But then even Whitebeard, in a way, skated responsibility because after Roger's death, everyone looked at him as like, okay, you're the person that's in line to become Pirate King. And Whitebeard was like, well, I don't want it. I don't care about any of that. I just want my family. So it's like, at the end of the day, like some of these pirates kind of look at like, well, they kind of just, they can be selfish. Where at the end of the day, the Marines, admirals, they can't.
I think if we're allowing a best case scenario for the admirals, then we
Mhm.
also have to allow a best case scenario for the Yonkos. And in that case, I would say a country that can self govern and that is, in a sense, in the best case scenario,
Mhm.
looking out for them and their own, looking out for the greater good of their country, then that too would be a positive. So I think the two could function together because there has to be accountability, right? There
Right.
has to be what if one of them does turn corrupt? What
Mhm.
if one of them is governing selfishly? Then there should be checks and balances in place. But if we're allowing the best case scenario, then a country that can have its own liberties and not be beholden to people who have ultimate power, that have extraordinary power, is a good thing for that country.
Yeah, I think self-governing is an idea. It's just I can see that going bad
I agree.
more than good more often than not because for
Yeah.
self-governing, I guess, do we have a king? Do we have a government? How is it being enforced? Is it just through birthright?
I
What if
completely agree with you that
yeah,
there's a lot of bad that comes for it. I'm talking
yeah.
best case scenario
Yeah, best case.
because because the worst case for the system of the admirals is terrible people on top.
Mhm,
Worst
mhm.
case for the system of the Yonkos is terrible people on top, right? So
Yeah.
I think both working in tandem with each other so that we have checks and balances is the ultimate goal. But at the same time, it still has to be governed in a way where it's honorable.
Yeah, that's the thing with honor. And I think for the
That's the
most part,
thing.
the like how the world government set it up is like we have the Yonko, we have the warlords, and they try to have this system where they kind of balance each other out. Is I understand that perspective because it maintains the peace. It uses pirates to maintain the peace. Um, but the main thing is like like you said, the Heavenly Tribute, the Celestial Dragons, them somewhat doing whatever they want. And I agree with you. We can't have that. But from
Right.
there, when we know they're more quote unquote bad pirates and good pirates, after the Celestial Dragons, can we still allow pirates to just roam? You know,
Because it's people who are not submitting to the law. You're right.
at the end of the day, and the Straw Hats, they're going to be one of them. Like, do we just give the Straw Hats, you know, are they just not bad now? We don't have to persecute them or prosecute them. They're just okay, and everybody else
Right.
is bad. So it's like,
Right.
what's
And
the
in the
angle
story
there?
that we have, the idea is the government is not, honorable. And so piracy
Right.
is freedom from the perspective of the story.
Mm-hmm.
So if we were to have honorable government, then that would change the perspective of things a lot. But also imagining a utopic world, you know, it's just not going to work out. The
Yeah.
powers that
It's
be all
impossible.
functioning honorably. Yeah,
Not
it's
with the
not going
case
to
of
be.
human nature. Just not. It's
No, not at all.
Exactly.
Like, even if the Marines become better with the good people in power, we presume the Fujitoras,
Yeah.
Smokers, Kobe, um, they're still going to be. I mean, they're not going to be there forever. You know,
Yeah.
after they're gone, then what comes after that? And then with the pirates that are left behind, you're going to have Luffy, Law, but then let's say Kid is still around. Like, now the Celestial Dragons aren't there. Like, does he continue to be like the menace that he is? It's just
Hmm. There's always going
it's
to
a tough
be
thing.
power hungry people bidding for the top.
Yeah, for that.
It's the unfortunate truth of the world, especially in the One Piece world.
Yeah.
And I think they do a very good job of depicting that as well. I even think
Yeah.
Kuzan's disillusionment, and you could sense it from the moment he had to kill Saul. He was disillusioned already, and it was setting in. It's one of the reasons he let Robin go in the first place. What I really, because I think Kizaru is now feeling the disillusionment that Kuzan felt, and Fujitora has already had it, right? So Fujitora is a very interesting case. The two that I'm so fascinated about, especially when it comes to this type of conversation, is Akainu and Green Bull. I know Green Bull is Akainu's stand anyway, so I really, really, really want to see Akainu's backstory because his mentality is like, I'm willing to accept the evil of the Gorosei and the Celestial Dragons, which means something that was done to him by a pirate must have been so egregious that it's like, no matter how evil these guys are, they'll never be as bad as pirates. That's what I believe that's how bad I believe the backstory will be, though.
Jay, think about Doflamingo and what he did. Like, if you were a kid and what Doflamingo did by taking over Dressrosa,
Right.
or what Kaido did for decades in Wano. If you're one of those kids that had to experience that, I can understand having just a disdain for pirates
Oh
that
yeah.
I'm willing to throw away my humanity to get eradicate them.
Yep.
And like for Fujitora, his focus seemed to be the warlords. So I would not be surprised if like a warlord was somebody that did something that was so egregious that he's like, my goal is to eradicate that system because it is not a good system.
Yeah.
But it's just like with pirates and the things we've seen them do, it is not difficult for me to see like somebody like Akainu being like, if that's the game they're playing, we can play that game.
Yes.
Where it's funny because in the One Piece, just talks, people hold the Yonko to a standard because how they are, they're freewheeling, they do whatever. But then they hold the Marines to a different standard where they're like, well, if you're good, you can't act like this. Then why do you champion the Yonko? Because when now a pirate or when a Marine now acts like a Yonko, he's bad.
Mm-hmm.
It was just it's perspective.
That's true, and I think Murphy. I don't know if you've seen Film Z, but
Yeah.
The Admiral Zed is the perfect example of that. What happened to him, where he saw a warlord, a pirate, kill all of his recruits. Like, these are recruits, so we're talking about like regular Marines that we saw in the One Piece letter. Seeing all of that and then see them all eviscerated by one pirate, and then see them reward that same pirate with power and freedom to do what he wants in the name of the government. that would make any man crash out, like any man. So like that's to kind of back up what Brago was saying about kind of meeting the world at their level and accepting the evil. That's why I think when it comes to the whole Yonkos and Admirals debate, someone said it in the chat, but like 99%, they say like 99% of Marines are good, with the 1% bad, and then there's 99% of pirates are bad, with 1% of the pirates being good. I think at the end of the day, the reason people are more willing to follow the Gorosei despite them being terrible is because they instill order. Despite their evil deeds, there's order. The majority of the people will be at peace under the rule of the Gorosei, but if under the Yonko, there is no guarantee. All it takes is one hunger pan for Big Mom and half the population's gone. All it takes is for Kaido to say, I'm done with Wano, and it's over. Right? Like, even with Luffy. Like, that's the thing that people understand. It's like, Luffy's like, all right, I'm going to liberate the kingdom. Destroys half the island. It's over. Like, that's it. It's like the reckless abandonment of the Yonko itself. There's just zero responsibility. And like, it's sad to say, but I'm kind of on that side where it's like, the admirals and the Marines just have a certain level of restraint that benefits the common good, no matter what we say.
Yeah, I mean, like Luffy, something that happens was like with Impel Down, with the prisoners. It's just like, all right, prisoners got out, cool. Is what it is. Luffy doesn't really care. You know, that's not my problem. I think for Kaido, Kaido wanted to. He already had a meritocracy in Wano. That's what he want for the world. If you're strong, you're gonna have. You're gonna.
Oh, I certainly don't want that for the world. No. Again, we were talking best case scenario. We're talking
best case
leadership. Under bad leadership, it would be a horrible, horrible system.
I think even Big Mom, she had a great premise.
Under that. What's that?
Big Mom had an interesting, like she had a good premise at the beginning. Like her idea is great. Uniting different races in one place. Great. But then she's like, but if you don't want to come, I'm going to bring you here regardless because this unification is happening. And if you want to leave, you're not going to be allowed to leave. So like Big Mom is so twisted because I think there's some good in there. It's just been warped.
It's just childlike. It's
by
a
her
childlike
experiences.
ideal.
Yeah. Do you think she ever?
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, do you think as big as she is, does she ever grow up? As old as she is.
I think she's traumatized.
Yeah.
So, it is a possibility for children if they go through extreme trauma to just get locked in that state of mind and not be able to be released from it. And I think, to me, that's how I read her character, is that she, that day when she ate her entire family, her entire Nakama, and after being abandoned and then got kicked out, and like she had so much trauma there as a child, I think she's locked there and has never actually ideal be able to actually run that. And so she just tries to run it with force and might and gimme and this is mine and I was a tantrum.
I mean, hopefully dead. I would like to see that come full circle. Like I said, she had a good premise in regards to what she would want. So I think
if she's
there's
still
something
alive.
there.
Stuff. All right, guys, we are at the 2 hour
somebody
mark.
said she's not doing it out of benevolence. She's doing it for herself,
which is true.
Mean, yeah,
she really
I think I mean, for the most part, everybody does things for themselves.
That's also a good point, and that's a filler because we could talk about that for a while because that's something to unpack. Because even when you think about people, okay, that's a deep conversation. Because then I think about people being nice, right, and then being kind, and are people being kind and being nice? It's like, are you being nice for the benefits that it'll bring you? Are you being nice because you know if you're nice to this person, it'll be nice, you know, it'll benefit you later on? are we always being kind for the sake of ourselves to feel like good people? And like that's like a debate that I really want to have, because then it makes me question like a lot of the things that we see in the story as well, and look at characters a little bit differently. Like we get to the anti-hero trope, and like anti-heroes always doing something for the benefit of themselves, even though we like them. Is that selfishness? Is that human greed? Is it human nature? Like there's a lot to unpack with that statement. There's a lot.
Yeah, I
People
mean, I
are
think.
actually. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Murphy. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, there's a big difference between a character that I would define as good or a system that I would define as good
Mhm.
versus something that's layered enough to tell a good story. That's where I land a lot with morally gray characters.
Who's a character in One Piece where we say is morally gray? Would we say Luffy is?
I would say
I don't know that I would define him that way.
I don't know if I define Luffy as morally gray. Would you define Buggy as morally gray, or would you just say he's a bad person?
Buggy's a bad person.
Buggy's a bad person. He said Buggy's a bad person.
But you did not care about Orange Town. Buggy's a bad person.
All right, Buggy's a bad person.
Buggy's about to execute Luffy on sight.
Someone said Zoro.
I think One Piece is a more difficult series to do that with because of the world dynamics of it, right? Like,
yeah,
like Whitebeard, I think is a good person, but we can look at his actions and we can have a different conversation.
Would you say Ace is morally gray?
Ace is a good person.
I would agree. But the problem is that piracy isn't viewed in this world the same way. Like our perspective isn't the same as what our perspective on piracy is in our world.
So, because I'm using the example of
gray.
Well, so like think about it as like the way I see it is like we've all met somebody, right, that's really kind to a certain group of people, but they're terrible to other people. Would you just say that's a bad person?
Well, that's not gray.
Or would you call them gray? That's not gray. Because it depends on what you're defining as gray. Because like people say Roger, people are saying Vegapunk, Roger, Law, morally gray.
Vegapunk was the first one that came to my mind, but I don't actually think Vegapunk is gray. I think he's a character that was selfish and then grew and learned. And to me, that's not gray. That's a character evolution. That's learning.
He's grown. He was.
Yes.
I think he was willfully ignorant.
Yes.
Then maybe he grew to gray and now he's good.
Katakuri.
Katakuri is amazing because he's very selfless because his entire shtick was for his family, but then he killed people for just seeing his face. Right? Is that a good person? Is that a bad person?
I think there's very few characters in One Piece that I would say are definably good people, because everybody's done stuff for selfish reasons in the series.
But that's what the black is the killing, right? And the white is the selflessness for his family. So that's why you would put him in gray. Like the gray is like people who are gray is like situationally they're going to do something different than what you would expect them to do. But when you put all of their actions together, you'll get a gray person. It's like Kuzan, for example. Kuzan went from pure good to gray. Kuzan is solely in the gray right now.
Jay, let me ask you. At the end of the day, we're humans. I feel like we're all gray.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, let's say you killed somebody at one point in your life. Now you don't kill anymore. Are you a good person? Or is that stain always there?
The stain will always be there.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
And we're sure like in our lives, we've done things that aren't good.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's a lot. It's a lot of decisions. It's a lot of things every day where it's just like, all right, to somebody, me cutting you off in traffic, I'm a bad person. Why would you cut me off? I have kids in my car. I don't know that. So it's just,
I was just trying to get.
I think the ideal,
home,
the ideal is us to function with the world in our perspective, right? Like every action I make has ripple effects, but that's just not the way people live every moment of their day. Like we all have so much selfishness ingrained in us, and sometimes that's how we act. Like that's what leads us.
yeah. Because I'm sure the other person that didn't get that promotion, Jay, they look at you like a villain.
Mm-hmm.
He stole my job.
He's
Got it in.
Yo.
Now I can't feed my family. Did you know I have 6 kids?
No,
I'm about to get evicted.
Yeah, I'm about to get evicted.
I'm about to get...
They're gonna turn it political to be like, oh man, they always taking our jobs. Like, yo, okay.
You know, and you got that job because you know somebody.
Because you know somebody. Affirmative action. Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
I'm saying, I don't know if I'm thinking about a good person in One Piece. If I had to pick a good person,
Kuma,
Kobe,
Kobe. Those are the only 2 people. But I'm picking Kuma.
Kuma's an interesting one.
Oh, go. Hate that villain. Use your PR.
Because I think Kuma's a great person, but Kuma is willing to do bad things for the sake of the greater good. Like he's willing to take it there.
What did he do that was bad? He defended his kingdom.
I think he means this.
Yeah, but it's like if you're.
Oh, right. But he was backed into a corner, wasn't he? Did he have a choice?
He did make a deal. He did a deal to sacrifice himself for it.
I don't think he had a choice. Wasn't his free will surrendered?
Yes.
Well, it's kind of like. Well, the free will was surrendered for something that personally was affecting him, for Bonnie. Whereas it's like, it goes back to Kuma. Ultimately, you can view him as selfish because mass production of this could lead to so much bad, but it's still like, I want to save
the mass
Bonnie.
production that he agreed to was a force for good. It was pacifists. It was pacifistas. And then that was put in the hands of someone evil. But does that make Kuma evil?
I think with the
or
world
even
government,
Gray?
with the world government, it's one of those situations where it's like, did you view them as a good organization?
There.
So it's one of those where it's like,
I don't think he could have foreseen what the world government would have done. But recognizing that putting a massive weapon in the hands of the government could easily be abused is something that he probably could have had foresight on.
Probably were
but I don't know that
abused.
I don't know that I would condemn him for that though.
No, I'm not. No, not at all. Because I would make the same decision. Absolutely, 1,000%. But that's why we talk about, like somebody's mentioned, benevolence. It's like, yeah, he was doing it for something that benefited himself.
Yeah.
Like Luffy didn't do all that for Marineford because of everybody else.
It's true.
His brother.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, at the
I
end
think
of the
Luffy
day,
absolutely was acting selfishly in that whole sequence.
Oh, for sure. For sure. You know, I think even with Whitebeard pulling up and how he felt about Ace led to the death of many innocent people.
Yep.
But it's just like, you know, I feel like inherently, like, we're kind of programmed to be selfish. We can't help it.
We are.
I think we can help it. I just think
tough
it's our
because when it comes
natural
to like
inclination.
I think when it comes to our kids or people that are close to us, we don't view it as that at all. We kind of be like, well, I will do anything for my kids, so that's selfless.
I do anything for my kids. That is true.
So it's just like, at the end of the day, like, I don't care how anybody else feels about that. I'll be selfish.
I think the true act of selflessness is doing it for the common man and people and strangers that you don't know. That's where I think you're really tested. And I think because of we just got a lot of gifted subs, 5 gifted subs. Appreciate that. For the common man, I think the reason why Kuma sacrificed for the Straw Hats, I mean, even then that was for Dragon in a sense, right? It was because of Luffy,
because of his relationship with Dragon,
and then he saw Luffy and he believed in Luffy. So even then, it was still tied to something. But maybe like
everything
the
is
Sorbet
inherently
Kingdom,
selfish.
the Sorbet Kingdom, and him taking the damage for all the people in the Sorbet Kingdom. Like I think
Well, he cared about what the people did for him.
Let me say this though. I think we are playing a little bit loose with the word selfish, because while caring for the people that you care about, there is an element of selfishness to it. I wouldn't call that selfishness. I think it's still taking care of others. Now, there is the reality that every move we make has wider effects than we tend to see. And just because I'm caring for this person doesn't mean that now the world is all better. Like nothing is affected negatively. There will be negative effects in many moves that we make, even those that are not selfish. But I would say that caring for people we love, personally, I wouldn't categorize as selfishness, even if there is a self element to it.
Yeah. Well, I think that's perspective based, right? Because if like, let's say you're at your job, it's end of the month, it's really busy, then your kid gets sick. To your coworkers, they're like, all right, we need you. You're telling them, well, my kid is sick. You guys got to figure it out. Damn, Murphy's selfish.
Yeah, I mean, they could view it that way. I would call them selfish for viewing it that way, because they're adults and they can cover, whereas this is a child that's vulnerable. So while this action will workers, and it will negatively even affect coworkers because it puts a greater burden on them, but is it inherently selfish to choose to protect the child?
I think based on everybody else would take, but that's definitely something people would say if they're on the other side.
They can. That would be selfish of them.
Yeah. That's interesting.
There was a
This
thought.
is beyond.
Oh, this is what it's all about. It's what it's all about. I think there was a point I wanted to make and it slipped my mind. What was it? Oh, fish or tiger? Gray or not gray?
Gray.
The fishman, in fact, the whole fishman experience is gray. Except for Arlong. I think he kind of tweaked a little bit. I think he went way beyond the gray.
Hody maybe doesn't get the gray label.
No, Hody doesn't get it. Sorry. He doesn't. Hody was corrupted already. Otahime is the one where you could probably just say she was like purely. Otahime and Kobe are probably the only people that are really purely on that like light side. But outside of that, you making that face. You got Otahime. You don't agree with Otahime?
But Otahime feels the same way. Would she do it for humans?
Guard.
Would she make the sacrifice that she made for fishmen that she made for? Would she do the same for humans? Or is she doing it because it's fishmen and her people?
So again, I would argue that sacrificing for people that you have an inherent love for does not automatically make you selfish. I don't know that she would make the same sacrifice for humans, but I don't think that she would hate humans. I don't think that she would discount them. I think she would do a lot of acts of good for humans.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's just more motivation when it's that close to you. But you're right.
Yes.
It's not inherently selfish. Fisher Tiger was.
He was great.
Yeah. Because I mean, he even admitted that he was motivated by hate that certainly was understandable.
Yeah,
but like he admitted it himself. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just as much as you hate. He hated. I feel like he had the most hate, arguably in One Piece.
Mm. But he fought past that hate.
Did he?
He didn't.
Didn't he?
No.
You don't reckon so? He still took people in. He
So
still cared for what's her name, Koala.
So that's the thing. His hatred, because he understand, he didn't see slaves as humans. He saw them as slaves just like him. So for him, he was able to see past Koala because he's like, oh, you just like me. That's why he freed the slaves. Y'all just like us. But humans that are free, it's a different story with Fist of Tiger. It's a completely different story. And like Eric, so this is the fun. This is because I've beefed with Eric for the last 5 years over this, right? Fist of Tiger not accepting that blood. I said he did that because at the end of the day, he could not let go of his hate for humans. And he said, no matter what, I will not. I'm telling you, it was pure hatred why he did it. Like, it just, I'm not letting it in me. I won't let it in me. I just can't do it.
But,
I think there's something about not accepting blood and being willing to die because you don't want to share the blood of humans. That is, I can't even fathom it.
So you're right. But the reason I would say he fought past the hate, even though he died for the hate, but in his death, he was urging his comrades, don't be like me. Push past this. Don't continue this. So even though he couldn't pass it up in his own life, in his own journey, he still didn't want that for everyone else. He wasn't trying to perpetuate it. He was trying to free other people from that.
I think he's a great leader. And I think he understood, like, he didn't want that life for his comrades. And he was doing it out of the love for them. But even in the midst of that, understanding what your comrades would probably take away from this and the influence it would leave, he was still willing to die.
Yeah, I know.
Which, he's a man of conviction. I'd say that. Right? But, I mean, like, your people needed you. Yeah. And that led to so many different...
Oh, it wasn't a good thing that he couldn't get past the hate. Certainly not.
No, it wasn't. It definitely wasn't. I mean,
so
I thought it was a good character. I think it wasn't a good thing, but I thought it was a great character moment. I thought it was a great character moment.
I think people that are willing to die for something they believe in, you have to respect it. It's just an inherent respect there, just because it's just like he was willing to give his life for it. And I think I respect it, but I don't agree.
I don't even think we're required to respect the hate that he kept. I think we're meant to just feel for him, feel bad for like how harmed, how hurt he was, that even though he wanted better for everyone else, he couldn't get past it himself. Like, he, as a character, was meant to represent how deeply this kind of pain actually stays inside of someone. Like, you don't shake it off, you don't grow from it, you don't always just get over it. And he couldn't, despite wanting to. He couldn't.
Could you?
I think in One Piece, it almost like, my bad, Jay.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
It almost kind of not forces you, but it almost makes you look at people that are willing to accept death. It kind of makes you look at them as like larger than life characters. Like Whitebeard, he came to Marineford knowing he was going to die. Like Odin, like he was prepared to die. And so like, and even with like the deed to die while they're smiling, Roger turned himself in preparing to die. And it's like, you know, I feel like sometimes, well, in One Piece, death could kind of immortalize you, where you become this almost deity that lives on no matter what. And it could be positive effects of your death or negative, but they're going to be effects of it.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, like dying and accepting death willingly.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of people that's built that way.
Right. Yeah. I think a lot of it for them is just knowing, like, I've done what I needed to do. With Whitebeard, you know, his death was coming either way. And for him, it was like, I'm serving my family. I'm taking care of my people. So I'm ready. This is gonna happen.
Yeah.
That's a sense of conviction now. I hope I never have to get to where it's like dying and knowing you're gonna die and kind of being okay with it.
Yep. It puts a lot. It puts too much life into perspective when you're faced with that. It's like, man, it makes you look back. Like,
I mean, I do that for my kids though.
Well,
Exactly.
that's the thing.
With no
right?
hesitation.
Because you
I
know
don't
what you
want to
passing
have to
on.
do it, but at the same time, yeah,
I do it.
I know
Yeah, I know I do
would,
it. No problem.
and I would, yeah, no problem, exactly, no problem.
So before, and this has been great. This has been 2 hours, which is probably the longest collection testament to you two. Because I'm going to read my chat, my nonstop bodega. Um, so from Paths, $2. It says someone called the Geneva Convention. I think that's when Braga was talking about Dofi. I'm pretty sure. Fall down the stairs, low dips, low heated fraud from Red House. Brago's Akainu agenda is set in stone, no swaying from Edgar, $2. We've got the NCG goggles. The fodder hunter is born. That's crazy. Pass. Brago been acting different ever since that mattress sponsor.
That's a cool mattress.
Yeah, I'll back that one.
Oh.
Red House. Others said ain't no party like. Tell where Corazon Muso guard now. Dofi is alive. True. Keenan Cookson said I heard Brago been spotted at Hisoka parties. Any thoughts on that? Yeah, any thoughts on that? Because that's a little.
That's crazy. Nothing about that.
You don't know nothing, huh? Red House again. Look east with Dragon for 5 months, or go to an Orochimaru party. I'm pretty sure we're going to look east with Dragon. Last, what makes Goku better or different than Tanjiro from Demon Slayer? Has anyone read or watched Demon Slayer? Murphy, did you read Demon Slayer or watch it?
No.
Brago,
Yeah, I finished Demon Slayer.
Do you have an answer to that question?
What makes Goku different from Tanjiro?
Different or better?
What makes it better? Well, I think. I mean, for me, with Goku, it's like because he's younger, he's just a kid. Eventually, he does get to Tanjiro's age, and he's still the same way. But it's easier to accept because Goku's a kid. There's nothing wrong with Tanjiro, like in how nice of a person he is. I just think for me, it's just because Goku's younger. Now, as far as Tanjiro versus something like Luffy or someone like Luffy, I don't know. I think we've had more time to see it in effect. And we've seen the trope, but there's nothing wrong with Tanjiro.
No, I wouldn't say there's anything wrong. I just think Goku's more likable. That's it. I think that's the difference I would see. And Dragon Ball Z is just a more love story. Like Demon Slayer was very, very popular, but it's just really the better series and the more beloved character. And Tanjiro is gentle by nature. Goku isn't really gentle. He's gentle, but when it comes to fighting, he's not. That's just not really his gimmick. So, Saiyan blood, humanity, there's a few differences that I would see there, and that's probably what makes Goku better is probably the fact that he is a Saiyan, so he kind of has a different edge to him, where Tanjiro doesn't really have that type of savage edge to him.
I think we just like Goku more. The decisions he's made, the character design, the anime. We like the voice actor more. It's just small nuances about the character that we appreciate more, and that's all it takes sometimes.
Red House for $2. Ain't no party like an imperfect cell party. I don't know what Red House is with these parties, but we might have to call the police on
An
it.
imperfect cell party. Interesting.
Lothar with the $20. Loving the topic of the conversation. Appreciate it, Lothar. Donathan Davis with the 20. I've been seeing more and more light novel adaptations coming to light in the community. T-Bait, Lord of Mysteries, Slime Reincarnation. Slime is very good. Mishoko Tensei. Degenerate at a lot. There's a lot of degeneracy in Mishoko Tensei, but the story itself is very good. I'm just being honest. Mashoko is good. Like, it's a good story. It's just you gotta have a certain stomach to push past some things.
Yeah.
There's some things. There are some things where you just like, all right, I'm just gonna have to tank this and move on. Like, gray. It's a little.
I feel like that's true in a lot of series.
Yeah, it is. Now, Murphy, Mashoko Tensei, there's gonna be some things you're gonna see. And you're just you small crash
Murphy
out. You have a
should,
small
like,
crash out.
React to Mashoko.
Oh my god, Murphy, I will donate to your Patreon to see you react to Mashoko Tensei. I will. Oh my god, I'll pay for it.
To watch me react to something that you know will be terrible?
Yes.
It's not terrible. It's just badly terrible. Listen, it's one of those where just like I'll say this: the last episode or the last few episodes of season 2.
Yeah, this last two, boy,
really brought it out of me, man.
Yeah, I was
really selling this really well. I feel really motivated to start this series.
Because you have a rebellious nature. So my guess is, like, if you think it's so bad, you want to see it for yourself. That's what we're trying to appeal to.
No, that was sarcasm. I am running from this series.
You know, yeah, okay.
You gotta like trick her to watch it.
There's a way
like,
to do it.
What's the English name?
Jobless Reincarnation.
There you go. That's what you tell her it is.
I'm right here.
You're not gonna remember. It's fine.
Which
is so funny because you're not gonna remember. That's the funniest part.
You're not wrong.
We know this now.
That's that gimmick. But it's good. I would say, yeah. At the bare minimum, Slime. You'll like Slime. Slime is good.
Slime is likable. Slime is really good.
It's a good watch. Jolly Joestar. I bet what Brago said was funny. I guess that was at 10:22. It's 11 now. Eric said talk about Fish the Tiger. We did. How similar is Garp to Obama? Eric has not let that go for another 5-6 years because I compared Garp to Obama. We do not have to talk about this. Like, we just don't have to. We don't have to talk about this.
You compared Garp to Obama?
I had a video a long time ago, you know, the JD Scholar days, you know.
That just gets funnier the more I think about it.
Yeah, my whole concept is that the chat's like, you did what? Yo, the whole concept is that because Garp is such a symbol to the Marines, right? He's the hero, so like he's like arguably the most important Marine. It's like Obama being like a symbol for black people as a president. So Obama is like one of the most important presidents we ever had because he's the first black president. So he's technically a symbol. That was the explanation I was trying to make. And Eric has not let me breathe, bro. He's not.
What was the title of the video? Is it here's my Garp.
It was like
13 points.
It was like a 1 minute portion, and he has not let it go for 5 years. It's been 5 years. He hasn't let it go, bro. To this day.
Hey, somebody link the video, please. I'll react to it later.
He said, yo, someone link the video, please.
Oh my god. That's hilarious.
Yo, that is crazy. That's crazy. Felix fanboy Rico says tell Brago to stop looking like a snack. Yeah. Hey man.
Sorry, Felix. I can't help it.
you got some fans in here, man. Question for Murphy and Brago. Who's stronger, Yonkos or Admirals? I waited the entire stream. Please give us a small debate.
We agree.
They was in the agenda referee. They both agree.
We agree. Yonko's stronger.
Yonko's stronger.
That's the crazy part. Like, I don't think Admirals are stronger than Yonko. I just don't think the gap is as crazy as people say. That's all. But like it goes from person to person to person. So by the time it gets to the next person, it's like, oh, he thinks that was a way stronger than the Yonko. It's like that's not how I feel at all.
No, I agree with that. I think people underestimate the Admiral's strength. And there are scenes like with Green Bull that it's like, okay, Oda, you didn't help. But for the most part, I think people underestimate Admiral's strength.
Yeah. That's my agenda. That's it. But I think Yonko is stronger. They are forces of nature. Where clearly based on the Garp and Kuzan flashback, I think even Brand New said that you aren't born this way. You have to train to get there. So
what are you cracking up about, Jay?
Just the chat. They said Garp is launching drone strikes. Yeah. Like,
wow. You see, I want to go there.
Yo, I can't. Yo, I can't do it. Like, I don't know.
I want to touch it.
Yo, I can't do it. Oh my God, this chat is crazy. Nah, this chat is crazy. Sorry, I can't. Oh my God. Okay. Wow. Yeah, I'm so mad at everyone bringing that up, but I just couldn't ignore that. Anywho. Oh Jesus. Last super chat is D with an exclamation point. You have to watch or read Girls Last Tour, please. I think that's one of the light novels that's just.
That's been highly recommended to me.
What is it called? Girls Last Tour?
Yeah. What is that about? Do you know a synopsis of it, Murphy, or no?
War times.
I do love a good war manga, so.
Oh, well, I'm currently watching Attack on Titan, and it's breaking me.
Whoa. First time?
First time.
What season?
I'm early season 1.
Mm.
No, I'm sorry. That's really wrong. I'm early season 4.
I was about to say, you've been reading Attack on Titan for a while. I was like, 1?
I just finished the first arc of season 4. That's how that got jumbled in my head.
Yeah. Ooh. I mean, I'm rewatching Attack on Titan and it's going higher on my list.
Well, how far are you in your rewatch?
I'm on season 2.
Okay.
Early.
Yeah.
Wait, are you watching it in chronological order?
Yes.
So you're watching the OVAs as well?
Yes.
Okay.
I haven't watched the
Elsa's Notebook and Levi's backstory and John and Sasha's cook-off.
Yeah, I didn't like that one.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I didn't mind it.
It just didn't feel as relevant as the other two.
Yeah, it was random.
Yeah.
But the other two, I really like Elsa's Notebook. I really enjoyed.
So both of those ones, though, are in the manga as well. Because I'm doing anime and manga both.
So you're reading and watching. Okay.
Yeah, I'm watching first and then reading. Because there's so much information, it's hard to take it all in while you're watching. And so when I read, I can just take as much time as I want and kind of process everything.
I'm realizing that the more I watch anime, it's just like it's so much going on. Sometimes I don't know what's going on.
Yes.
Yeah. But I'm kind of in a trance because of how it looks. So I'm just like, oh my God.
And the score playing, and you're just like,
yeah, it's just so much,
There's so much.
When you read it, it's just,
and it keeps moving no matter what. It just keeps going. But with manga, I'm like, I can sit on this page for 10 minutes if I need to sit on this page for 10 minutes.
Last question. What's your favorite moment in Attack on Titan so far?
My favorite single moment?
Single moment.
Oh, no.
Wait, let me ask Jay real quick before so you can think about it. Jay.
Seasons 1 through 3, please.
My favorite moment is the Erwin speech. That one speech where he actually gets them to all right.
That was the first thing that leapt to my mind.
Yes,
actually, that wasn't the first thing. The first thing that leapt to my mind was Levi telling him, "Give up your dreams and die," which came right before the speech. I don't think that
the speech is top 5, top 3. Levi's top 3, but number 1 for me is because I went back and read this moment after watching it so many times. It is the casual reveal that Reiner and Berthold are the Titans.
I'm the Armor Titan. He's the Colossal.
It's like I'm armored, he's colossal, and we want to.
I was like, wait a minute.
Aaron's
wait
like,
a minute.
Hey, what are you guys saying? Huh?
I know.
And then Berthold is like,
good.
Reiner, what are you doing? And I remember watching the first time. Bro, it didn't register. It didn't register at first. I was just watching. I was like, wait, what?
They trolled him, right?
say?
That's not true. And then
Yes.
just transform. And
Yes.
I'm just like, wait a minute. What? Wait a minute.
And then
what?
the score
Mm.
when they transform.
The score in the entire show is astounding.
Oh my god, bro! It is.
I also think Annie's reveal was so good, though.
Yeah, they
That
built up
face-off
well.
in the tunnel.
They built up well
Oh
to that.
my
Yeah.
goodness, it was so
Armin
good.
is so good. Armin is
Mm.
underrated. I feel like Armin deserves more love. Like he.
I
has
have
love.
heavily underrated Armin,
Oh man.
and he's continuing to grow in my estimation.
Yeah, Armin is just it's so subtle, but he picks up on everything, and he puts two and two together. Sometimes he's like
I don't think it's subtle.
he's
I think
slow
it's
to the
very
draw.
in your face.
You know,
I think that's
because
why I didn't like him at first. Is because it's so in your face. It's like you're the strategizer. I know you are. I get it. Yes, you are the ideas guy.
I love
but-
Armin. I like Mikasa more though, but I like him.
Levi.
Levi is number one.
Okay.
There's no
That's
question.
big goat.
Okay.
Yeah, that's goat.
No question. Like, come on. That's number one.
Connie is my underrated favorite.
Underrated. Okay. That's Sasha for me.
I want to talk
just-
about Sasha right now.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Oh, she just got
That
there.
was today for me.
She
that was
oh
today
my
for me.
God, yo! Oh,
That
that
was
crash out.
today.
Oh, that's a
didn't
heavy
say
crash
anything 'cause
out.
I
Oh,
wasn't
you
sure.
crashed out today.
It wasn't-
Yeah, she crashed
It wasn't-
out.
it wasn't a
Murphy
good
crashed
day for
out
me.
today.
I was
That
having
was
a
a
good
bad
day.
day. That was a bad day for a
It was a
lot
bad
of
day,
people.
okay.
Bro,
That
the
was a
first time I watched that?
Yeah, that was a crash out. That was a bad crash out for everybody, bro. That was a bad one. That was a
I
bad
haven't
one.
finished season 4.
Yeah, not Potato
You
Girl.
didn't
not
finish
her.
season 4?
Not her, bro.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
That
I
was
Just not
prepared
Sasha.
for
that was man,
Yeah.
Sasha?
I was not,
Not her,
ready for
bro.
that.
Not Sasha, bro.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Yeah. That hurt me. That really hurt.
They
That-
killed
actually,
They
speaking
killed
of-
my joy that day, bro.
Speaking of, one of my favorite scenes in AOT is Sasha and her dad. That whole sequence with her in her town. Unbelievable.
That's what made me
I like
love
that.
Sasha. And then when
Yeah.
they did that to me, I
I
was
know.
so hurt. I was like, how could you do this to me?
No.
Man,
Bruh.
I didn't I'd forgotten about that actually.
Yo,
Oh.
there was a whole, bro, there was because you're not there. Oh, Murphy's not there yet. I just want you to continue. And there's going to be some hatred you're going to have. And I just want to see if you hold on to the hatred. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. I mean,
Keva is saying something
ahead.
in the chat, but like there's no way it was, well, for me it wasn't. They said the fact that Annie and Reiner look so much like their Titans did kind of take the wind out of their respective reveals. I didn't realize it.
I didn't
At
either.
all.
I did not tap
I
into
had to
it.
hunt for Annie. I had to search for her. When I realized, okay, the reveal's coming soon, I need to go back and I need to figure this out. And I went back and I reread all the volumes leading up to the Annie reveal to try to piece it together. And I skipped over Annie multiple times because
Yeah.
I'm just like, I like her. It's not her. It's so stupid.
It's not easy.
And I finally
in
put the
hindsight,
pieces
it's
together
like-
and then realized that they looked alike.
Yeah, I didn't realize it at the time at all. And then Reiner, does in my mind,
I don't
Reiner,
even
it was
think
no
Reiner
way.
looks that much like his. Like, I feel like that's a stretch. They have the same
Yeah,
hair. I was
I
able
didn't
to
think
figure
Reiner
out
could be it.
Aaron by his hair. But he's the only one I've
Oh,
been able to do that
my
by.
first time watching Attack on Titan, I dropped it after I thought Aaron died.
So like 2 seconds into it?
In season 1, I think it was episode 6.
Was it?
something.
Wow. Feels like it was sooner than that.
And then I was like, what are we doing? Like, yeah, I think I was coming off of watching something that pissed me off. So I was like, I Googled it. I was like, why did Aaron die?
No, I never Google.
I Googled it. And then I was like, oh.
Maybe I should
He
keep
said,
watching.
oh, okay. All right.
I was like, why did I? I've never done that again. I was like, I was just so mad. But no. I really like Aaron.
Hey, you tried to end this stream like 10 minutes ago.
My bad,
Sorry
Jay.
about that.
My bad.
It's the first of all, this is the quality of the conversation. I'm not mad. I'm more worried about you guys. I mean, for me, you know, I don't got much responsibilities beside myself. So I'm just, as long as you guys are cool, hey.
That's right. I gotta get up in the morning, get my kids ready for school, pack lunches. I live a very exciting life.
Already got the lunches packed.
Ooh, okay, there you go.
I wasn't sure how long this was gonna go, so
that's crazy.
I packed the lunches.
Man. All right, well, good on you.
Well, good on
but
you.
normally it's chaos in the mornings trying to pack the lunch.
We have our morning routine down. It's very peaceful. But I'm gonna be cranky in the morning because Jay kept me up so late.
Okay, so why am I getting gaslit when it's y'all two been yapping the whole time? I've been enjoying, but now I'm not enjoying.
Barely spoken.
Yeah.
Jay's just going on and on and on.
Me on and on. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
Come on, Jay. Let somebody else speak.
Let somebody else speak. Chat, do you see this nonsense? You see what I'll be dealing with? Unreal. This is why.
Two rats on. You didn't think we would turn on you?
That's what I'm saying, but that's what I said. Because you see, Brago being slick. He like, yeah, Jay, that's crazy. Why you the one being brazen about it, Murphy? So like, I told you, this is how it was gonna end up. I literally said this. I said this was gonna happen, and I knew it was gonna happen. He said,
I have many
Jay,
skills, but gaslighting is one of them.
Yeah, you're an expert gaslighter. Brago, you know she kicks puppies, right? Like, you know that's her pastime. Like, that's what she likes to do. That's her favorite thing. How bad was
the puppy?
What'd you say?
How bad was the puppy?
How was the puppy?
Was the puppy leaving the war?
And was he leaving the war? It's crazy. Yo. Oh my God. Nah, bruh.
That's some deep lore. That's like the first collab Jay and I ever did together.
Literally. The first collab we did, and she got the Fit Puppy Kicker. And we have not turned back since.
Did. Yours was Bell Mare Hater. That hasn't stuck as well.
No, it didn't. It didn't, unfortunately.
A Bellamere hater?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I didn't say she was the best mom in One Piece. I said Dadan is. That's why.
Basically equivalent.
The best mom?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably is Bellamere.
Yeah, thank you.
Best mom?
Best mom.
Wait, Jay, who do you think is the best mom?
Yeah.
I said Dadan.
No.
Mm-mm. Thank you.
She said
no. That's crazy.
Let's kick Jay off the stream. I don't think he belongs here.
Like, I like Dadan, but like, she was taking care of them. Not because she wanted to. She kind of had to. You know, Bellamere, she was doing it because she wanted to. You know?
Okay.
And she took
and I get it.
And then, bro, she could have been like, no, I don't got no daughters. Da, da, da.
Mm.
Well, here's the thing, and I hate to say it, and you know what? I think this is what earned my Belmare hate status. Is I think I said it's because Belmare died and Dadan survived when she saved Ace and Luffy. It was like, hey, listen, they both made a sacrifice. One enough was strong enough to survive, and the other one, you know what I'm saying? I'm just, hey, listen. Hey, listen.
How did our friendship survive this?
I don't know. We're here.
Jay is a supreme rat. I don't understand.
For real.
Yo, Braga, you was the one who was using the F word with the hard ERs, talk slander and all the fodder. Oh.
I was just saying what they are. Okay. I'm sorry that's so wrong.
Listen, bro, okay? I can't do it. Yo, bro. I can't do this. He said, I can't do this today.
I feel for them, you know?
I feel for them, right?
I feel for them. Like, that's tough.
That's tough. That's tough. All right.
It's tough being fodder.
Murphy said it too, chat. Just I want you to know. She said it, so we're all culpable. Brago's the worst out of all of us. I would like to say Brago's probably been the worst out of all of us between the Dofi parties and Akainu and the F word. It's just like, yeah, it's just been nonstop today.
I was just holding everybody accountable, even the fodder.
You see, he emphasized the F. He emphasized the F. I didn't like the way he did that. Yeah, he just, it's really.
I'm not saying the father deserved everything that happened to him.
I would like to redact my position of ganging up on Jay.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. It's time.
Right, but sometimes it is what it is, no?
It is what it is. No, yeah, you tell him. Okay, you tell him. That's fine. The streets gonna see this.
To end on. We should stop there.
It's a great note to end on. The FIA have been bullying me for weeks, but I think we finally need to. Murphy's got her own investigation, but now I think we need to open one on Brago. So if the FIA is out there, let's get a nice little clip. Brago, I don't know if you've seen them FIA videos, but I think you need to see. Cole did a whole reaction to it, so you need to see FIA videos. If there's someone in the FIA, send Brago those videos. Murphy, you haven't seen the newer one, but the newer one is crazy.
The only thing the FIA is going to find is the truth. So send them.
And they will. They will, I promise you. He said we following Brago home tonight. Yeah. If you see a white van out there, just with a FIA, with a little rat logo, it ain't rat catchers. That's all I'm going to say.
As long as you're not fodder. Because you're not going to be okay.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, before we go beyond the copyright strike or some community guidelines, how about we wrap up this stream for today? Oh my God. It has been...
That's not true, Gojo. That's not true. Don't spread that propaganda.
Brago hates Luffy. That actually has been for a while, since Whole Cake Island. Brago hating Luffy, there's been some Luffy
slander on this stream. I've heard it coming out of your mouth.
I like the kid.
Uh-oh.
I don't
the kid is crazy, yo. To the MC.
I just have some things that I think he could improve on, but I like the kid. Come on. He's the main character and all that. But in Whole Cake Island, that was some bullshit. But it's fine. It's fine. It's okay. We'll talk about it next time.
Yeah, okay. He didn't actually beat Katakuri, but we know it.
Well, sure. He surrendered. I agree.
There you go.
That's it.
It's not even more than just
see.
That's it.
Murphy
That's it.
agrees with me.
She understands.
That's why they think I hate Luffy. I mean, I was rooting against him actively, and I was hoping he would just die a little bit. But
yeah,
just a little, just not,
Replace him with Doflamingo, the true hero of the story.
I mean, that's it. He's an entrepreneur.
You did not wrong.
He's an entrepreneur. What are we doing?
Yo. I'm tired, bro.
What is this?
Bro, I'm actually tired, bro.
Dog, Dofi seamlessly pivoted from what? Slaves to smile?
It's still slavery. It's just with a different
name.
It's still slavery. It's still slavery.
It's still taking away from someone's free will.
Yeah. But now you can smile about it.
Oh, get him out of here. Get him the hell out of here, bro. Oh my God, yo. That is sick. That is sick. Chat, there's gotta be something. There's gotta be some reprimandative action or something.
Look at the smile as he says
and
it.
I know they're behind, so they haven't seen it on the chat yet, but they're gonna see it. That's crazy. Let's give him something to smile about. That's toxic.
What I'm talking about is him switching the hustle to something else. He didn't force them to take the smile. That was Kaido. Well, that was Orochi.
That was Orochi.
That's it.
If you're even gonna hold Kuma mildly accountable for his participation in Pacifista,
yeah,
you can't be passing that off to Orochi.
That's crazy, bro.
I mean, Dofi was just a middleman, He's just making. Listen, without Dofi, I don't know if the world would be what it is. You need a Dofi.
Oh yeah, I do have to go. You're right. Oh my goodness, that's so random. Okay, bye.
Bye. It's like, guys, it's been great. It's been fun. Oh my God, I'm gonna end the stream before Brago actually gets me arrested by the FBI. So at this point, we are this close. We're this close to getting arrested.
Peace out, chat.
Before we go, any plugs? I know they agree. I know, but before we go, are there any plugs? Please plug your content, your channel, whatever's coming up. Anybody? What are you pointing at?
I'll let Murphy go first.
I make videos.
Yeah, I'm a good guy.
Sometimes they're good. Check them out if you want.
can follow her at Murphy Napier.
Yeah. I have a video coming out. It's a Doflamingo retrospective.
Oh my God.
Everyone will enjoy. I have a video called Blackbeard Did Nothing Wrong.
Goat video.
A video.
Yeah, I'm in on that.
The true side of Akainu is on the way. Just you guys understanding the perspectives of people that are a bit misunderstood. So check it out at BDA Law, Brog the Ace.
BDA Law.